Welcome to the Dave's HadeNuFF Show, episode 62. I got King Grimpachi with me. How's it going, King Grimpachi?
Hey, what's up?
Glad to have you, man. And the old Dirty 33, as always. How's it going, man?
What's up, Grim? What's up, Dave? YouTube.
Glad to have you. Tonight we're going to talk a lot about the Xbox One. There's a lot of news surrounding that. What do they call the NPD sales that everybody's focused on nowadays, where I never really heard too much about them like I do now. I guess because the Xbox is not doing so great. You got people stalking people at shopping centers and persuading them to buy, all the stuff we've been hearing now for the past couple, I guess month or two with all the shit going on. It's getting worse for the Xbox. So I guess the latest ones have came out. And the bad thing about this is that Forza 6 is not even on the top 10 charts. It's not even, it's not even there. And the thing I find weird about it is there was nothing really released around Forza 6. Like, why wouldn't the only way I could see somebody not buying Forza 6 if you hated racing games, But Forza 6 now. Is that in your opinion, Grimpachi, do you think that series is a good series, or is it just another series that people are just tired of?
Forza, as far as I to understand, was a series that people, it had its audience, but it was not, as far as I knew, it was not that game that every Xbox user picked up. Like, it didn't have that type of appeal. It had its audience, and that was it. So for Forza 6 not to be one of the best selling, that seems reasonable. I don't recall it ever, it did good. It always pretty much have done good, but I've never recalled it just being like the best, one of the best selling Xbox games. Yeah, I don't remember
you don't
that.
find it strange it didn't even hit the 10 spot on the top 10, like with everything that was released that month of September?
For clarification, can you run down what was released, somewhat what was released that month?
NBA 2K16, Destiny, Taken King, Madden, I believe. Those are the three I could think of off the top of my head.
Well, just based off those three games, they pulled their pants down and poop on Forza. You know what I'm saying? Like, Forza is exclusive, and those are some multi-plat games that people still play heavily. Forza, like I said, has its crowd, but that's pretty much it. Like, Forza 5 selling, Forza 5 was a launch title. You gotta remember, at launch, people will buy anything, even if they're not that into it. You know what I'm saying? So Forza 5 probably did well. I don't really know. Forza Horizon.
Forza 5 sold I'm looking at VG charts, which isn't the greatest to look at because to me it don't look like they really update as much as they used to. But Forza 5 sold 2.02 million units sold, where Forza Horizon 2 only sold 1.04 million units sold. So what the best one they ever had sell the most was Forza 3 Motorsports, which sold 5.48 million units sold. And Forza 4 didn't do too bad either. It sold 4.49 million units sold. But when it came to the Xbox One with Horizon 2 and Forza 5, Forza 2 sold a little bit over 1 million, and Forza 5 sold a little bit over 2 million.
Yeah, those games just aren't like, they're not those types of games that people just rush out and buy on the Xbox. No matter what you may hear on the YouTube, that's bullshit. Like, I've never really been around people that were that into Forza. You have to be into those type of racing games. They're not the racing games that the average consumer are into. Those are like sim racers. Now, Gran Turismo sells very well, but I think that has something to do with the fact that the Sony crowd may just have more of those people into those racing games. But yeah, like Forza, on the Xbox, I don't know the Xbox and the what do you call them, the sim racer crowd. I don't know if that really is there for them. So it's not selling well. It's not surprising, but I know what you're saying, because going off of what you hear on YouTube, you'll think it'd be doing gangbusters. But yeah, it's not that type of game. It's never been that type of game. Like Forza 3 selling well, that was because at that time that was kind of fresh, especially for Forza, and Forza 4 improved upon that. And then you gotta remember the Xbox, you know, the people that had Xbox 360s at that time probably way more than what's out in the Xbox One consumer base. So that's pretty much it.
Oh, okay. What's your thoughts, Old Dirty, of Forza 6 pretty much not even hitting the top 10 sales? What's your thoughts on that?
It's kind of weird when you say that it's not in the top 10. You know, I'm
Yeah,
not looking for
not
it to.
even not even at the not Mario Maker. That was at number 6 that I know of. That got number 6. I think NBA 2K got number 1. Madden was number 2. I don't know what was number 3, but Forza was not even in the top 10.
Yeah, that's kind of like odd. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's sold. I mean, for it to not to be in the top 10, it had to sell what, like maybe 5,000 copies or something. Like,
I don't know. I don't, they did. It's weird how they do the sales now. You used to be able to look up a game and find it like nothing. Now it's like the VG charts. They don't. The guy that runs it, he don't really like to update it too much. I remember for a little period of time, it was like 2 months. He did 2, 3 months. He didn't even update it. Then he wrote a message that he wants to get back to it. He's just busy. So we don't really have the best thing that updates. We just got to really take, you know, when GameSpot or these bigger sites come out with the news articles that say, oh, this is what this is selling and this is what that's selling. That's when we really know. I'm sure there's a website somewhere that I don't know of because I'm not deep into sales. I don't do stuff like that. You know, I don't really care too much about sales like most people here on YouTube. I just report the news and the podcast that people want to hear, and this is what people like to talk about here on YouTube. So I just go by, you know, I heard that it pretty much NBA 2K was the best seller of September. I'm sure Destiny was, I don't know what number that was. Destiny probably did good. They said that I think the Taken King did like the best out of, I think it did better than the other Destiny. I'm not sure, don't hold me to that, but I heard Taken King did really good. But yeah, Forza 6 isn't even nowhere on the fucking chart, so I don't know. It must have done. I don't think it did like 200-300. It had to at least sell 500. I would say 500,000 units at least.
well, the only thing I can think of with that is, did it go digital? Did a lot of people buy digital or something?
Well, digital sales do not count, you know, and that's the funny thing. You know, it's funny about that. I bought a majority of my games digital this generation, so if I'm doing that, the only reason I'm buying them physical now is because I got that great deal with Gamers Unlocked, so I can't turn that down. I'm sorry that I can get games for next to nothing. I'm getting Halo 5 for like $35, so brand new physical copy of the Xbox One, so I can't turn that down. But I'll tell you this. For a while there on the PS4, I was buying everything digital because they don't charge you tax on the PS4. Xbox and Nintendo charges you tax. And I was buying. I know a lot of people that just straight digital. David Maddox, my other buddy, Mr. Rogers, they all do straight digital. OD does it digital with his buddy. A lot of people like to do that digital sharing. One dude buys one, the next one does it. And that's a big thing. So I know digital sales is a lot of people are buying these games digital. And another thing, people like the game when it releases. One thing I love about digital, you know, I had The Witcher 4 hours before it even came out. And they let me get it early. And every other time I get it right at 12 o'clock. I don't have to go to the fucking store or wait till the next day. Now I have to wait with Best Buy the next day. So Halo 5, I'll have it the day it comes out, but I don't get it the night it comes out like I would have before Gamers Club's unlocked, you know. So that is true. Like digital sales, they're not counting that. They're only counting physical copies. So we don't know what it sold digitally, you know.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. It just seemed kind of weird, you know what I'm saying? Like, from all the other Forzas from the original Xbox and, you know, to the 360, you know, it was always like in the top 10, but for 6 not to be in there. Not saying that I'm looking for it to be high, like number 1. It could at least been like number 9 or something, or that's crazy. Like, it's kind of weird.
Anybody watching the podcast, I do want to say this in the beginning. I can't send an open invitation no more because I got a troll that likes to troll me with like 14 troll accounts that will jump in the podcast and just disrupt the whole podcast. So if I do forget to send you an invite, it's just because I'm so used to sending an open invitation where it goes out to everybody, but now I can't do that no more. So if you didn't get an invitation and you want to be in the podcast, just say it in the comment section or tell me in my next video, and I'll make sure you're on the next podcast. Shout out to Failed to Listen, Shaner123, Geek Essentials. Thank you guys for watching the podcast. I really do appreciate it. I did want to announce that I can't, I can't send an open invitation like I used to. It sucks. Tiger Man, shout out to you too, buddy. Failed to Listen says, seen the ending to Halo 5 gonna be a shitty game for Halo fans. I don't think it's gonna be a shitty game for Halo fans. I think it'll be good. I don't think it'll be the best Halo, but I mean, I don't think it'll be the worst. We'll have to see. I couldn't watch the end. I'd have to play the game. I just couldn't go look at the ending. But some people are different. But yeah, talking about the whole Forza 6, I'm surprised that it didn't even meet didn't even get in the top 10. And it kind of makes me want to ask the question: is the Xbox One the next Wii U? Which is meaning, from the start, the Wii U was doomed. We all know that. I looked at all the press about it. It's everything. All you heard was negative news about the Wii U. But the Xbox One is very similar. With the whole DRM thing and everything else that took place with the online all the time and everything else with the Kinect. Do you guys think, just how it started, was it doomed from the get-go just like the Wii U, Grimbrachi?
No. Well, see, okay, let me explain. All right, so the Wii U and the Xbox One situation was very different. Like the Wii U out the gate, people thought it was going to be a great console, and there was really no negativity when it came out. It's until later when people start saying with third party was like, we're not making any more games, and Nintendo was being very slow. That's when it was all doom and gloom for Wii U. Now, Xbox One out the gate was doom and gloom because people were afraid, not knowing what Microsoft was trying to do with DRM and all that. I think the situation was different. Actually, Microsoft probably had it way worse than Nintendo at, whenever they were about to drop their machine. You know what I'm saying? Because the Xbox One was looked at as a machine that was going to make it so you couldn't play your shit. The Wii U didn't really start getting, flack until, like, games just stopped coming, But people thought they were going to come because that's what we were told. So, will it end up like the Wii U? No, because people got over it. Seems like they have. So
you think people are over it? You think they're over the whole DRM thing and everything?
The average consumer, yes. The hardcore gamer, even most of them are probably over too. Now the diehard Sony fan probably ain't over it, but they probably wasn't going to get Xbox anyway. So
okay. What about you, Old Dirty? What's your thoughts with the with the whole Xbox One and Wii? Do you think it's like what I'm getting at? Do you think it shares a lot of similarities, like to the Wii U of what went on with that? What's going on with the Xbox One? Like I looked at the Wii U as like a scarred console, like it had the mark of death, like. And the Xbox One, the sad part with the Xbox One, you got Microsoft doing everything, doing backflips to fucking change things. And it just still seems like it's on that path of, not doing good, the road to nowhere. What's your thoughts, Old Dirty?
I mean, I think the Xbox is a good console. I don't think it's scarred like, the Wii. It's still getting games from third party. It still have its first party games. It still have its indie games. And I think the whole thing with the Xbox One is people seeing where Microsoft was trying to take the Xbox before it launched, and a lot of people didn't like it. They didn't want to be online and check in every 24 hours and all this other crap that Microsoft wanted to do with the Xbox. But I mean, Sony was right behind them. I mean, I don't count Sony out. of doing the exact same thing. It was just Microsoft just came out first to say, hey, this is what, we want to take gaming. Sony was right there, but Sony just seen the flack, and they was like, yeah, we ain't got nothing to do with that. That's what I think with the Xbox, because, I mean, if you had a 360 and you moved to the Xbox One, to me, it's no different. You know what I'm saying? It's no difference. They still got the same amount of exclusive the 360 have, with a few minor other ones from third party exclusive. The only thing is not the most powerful machine. You know what I'm saying? Like the PlayStation 4. The 360 wasn't powerful than the PlayStation 3. But everybody loved gaming on the 360. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see what the whole gripe about with the Xbox One. It's a fucking console. It got the same and do the damn same thing PlayStation 4 is doing.
But see, that's how you look at it. I'm just saying, do you think the mass audience looks at it like that? Or
The mass audience, I think the mass audience just go what other people say. They don't have a mind of their own. They hear one thing and they just run with it. They run with a lot of stuff in this gaming community. There's nothing wrong with the Xbox. They just hear people, talk down about it, talk bad about it, and they just go with the flow. Like, yeah, it is a garbage console. Why is it? I don't know. Like, it's nothing wrong with the Xbox. I don't see it comparing it to the Wii U at all. There's just nothing wrong with third party leaving. That's the only thing. But the Xbox is still here with third party support and still getting the same games that the PlayStation is getting. So I don't see the big deal. I think the Wii U just it just died when third party left. Slowly after third party just started leaving, it just started dying. Because Nintendo can't keep up with its own games to put out on the market. Nintendo can't put out, a game every other week or every week. They just can't. No company can do that. You know what I'm saying? A first party company cannot do it. That's why you need third party. So I don't look at the Xbox as the same as in the same categories like the Wii U, with stuff happening to it.
See, the reason I feel it's in the same category, I don't feel it shares similarities. I don't think it's exactly the same, but it has, from what I'm seeing going on with the Xbox One, I've seen go on with the Wii U, just not as bad, and definitely the one reason it's not as bad is because it does have third party. Now, if it didn't have third party, I think it'd be a lot worse than what went on with the Wii U, because, no, Xbox One does have some first party games like, they have decent first party like Sunset Overdrive, Dead Rising 3, even though some people don't count that as, first party because it's on PC, some of them games. But I think I think the Xbox One is scarred. I think it's crazy. And another thing that they just did, they're dropping a bundle for the Xbox One at $300. It's going to come with Fallout 4. It's going to come with Gears of War Ultimate, and it's going to come with 2 controllers. And I don't know what else. I'm not sure if there's other like Xbox Live added that, but I know that's for sure. The 2 controllers, Fallout 4, and Gears of War Ultimate at $300. That to me is them just. That's desperate times right there, because I couldn't see how they're giving all that away just to, I figured they had to do something like that, they couldn't just go with, because Sony dropped their price, but they must be taking some fucking loss on that, because when they first started out with that console, it was $500, and that wasn't too long ago. What's your thoughts about the whole, this bundle that they dropped, Grimpachi? That's pretty much, in my opinion, anybody that wants a next generation console, and don't go pick that up. If you're looking at like a PS4, Xbox One, I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying a majority of people, that's pretty much giving the fucking thing away.
Well, I was just about to ask you, where's this bundle at?
I saw it on a video of Brandon. Let me give him a shout out because I don't want to take credit. I'll show you the bundle. Let me send you the link here in a second. It was one of the latest bundles I saw, and I was blown away by it. I couldn't even believe they were doing that. But Well, I'm gonna find the article, but what is your thoughts about that bundle? That you just heard it? You
Oh,
didn't hear about that?
well, no, I didn't hear about. I think I saw some Dell bundle for 300, but I didn't really pay it any attention either. But what I was going to say is this, like, well, the stores, can change the price of the console, because especially the store already done bought the machine, right? And they have the right to do that. So what I was saying was, is it Microsoft giving that bundle away, like as in they dropped the price, they made the call, said bundle it with this shit, or is it the store doing that? Because that's totally two different things.
Oh,
That,
okay.
that's not Microsoft giving it away for like next to nothing. That's the store doing it, probably because they're overstocked or potentially they just don't want the motherfucker in there, so they're trying to give it away. So
Uh,
that's why I was saying there's a difference. It's just like what 2014 you could get like a Wii U for $100 and it came with two Wii remotes plus two Wii Remote Plus remotes at BJ's. That
mhm.
was BJ's doing that, not Nintendo. That price drop was only through them because they were overstocked and they wanted to get rid of them. So that's what I'm saying. It's a difference. But I mean, as the bundle itself, yeah, I mean, like, I'm looking to buy something, and that sounds just about, that's as cheap as it's going to get, unless I'm gonna buy you. So yeah, I'm gonna need to know where that's at.
Oh, here it is. I'll send you the video. If I'm saying your name wrong, man, I enjoy your channel. It's a great channel. Weibo Brandon. He did a video called Xbox One drops price to 290. Oh, for Black Friday. For Black Friday. So it's a Black Friday.
Oh,
Okay, Black Friday.
oh, that's Black Friday. Oh well.
But it's still fucking dirt cheap. I mean,
Yeah, that's
I stood in line for my PS4 for fucking 12 hours for $400. I'd gladly, if I didn't have an Xbox One and didn't buy one right now, my ass be at Best Buy waiting for that bundle. I mean, that's a fucking steal. Like, that's crazy. Like, I mean, anybody that is on the fence, like, or not on the fence, wanting a next generation console, I would have to honestly say this generation, they have gave you every chance you could possibly have to get one. Like, trade in your 360 and you get $150 off. Like, they're like, here, just take the motherfucker. I seen Microsoft more along the lines doing that stuff, not so much Sony. Sony has really usually stuck to their guns where it was at 400, now it's 349. But Microsoft has done everything they can to give the damn thing away. Here's the video, Grimpachi. Yeah, it says Doorbuster online exclusive, 6 p.m. Eastern, Thursday, 11/26. That's Xbox One Gears of War Ultimate Edition bundle plus Fallout 4 and extra controller. This 500 gig Xbox One console comes packed with Fallout 4, an extra controller, full God of War 3 game or Gears of War 3 game download, a 3.5 millimeter headset, and more. Like, what else could they give you? That's fucking nuts. I mean, I just think it's a fucking great deal. But it is Black Friday, to be fair. But that's still, I'd stand my happy ass in line if I was wanting a console. Here it is. I'll put the video. Shout out to Brandon Weeble. I think I'm saying Weebo Brandon. He's a good dude. I've been watching his content for a while. I'll put it in the live chat. Shout out to you, buddy. Where's the on this? But here's the thing in the chat. What's your thoughts on that Black Friday bundle, Old Dirty?
It's a steal.
It's a steal.
If you still is playing on last generation, you know what I'm saying? I advise anyone to pick this bundle up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you still want to play on last generation, do it. But this is probably gonna be the last chance you can get a game like this dirt cheap bundle with all these games. You know what I'm saying? What you say? Fallout 4, Gears of War Ultimate Edition.
Extra controller, 3.5 millimeter jack. They're giving. I think there's even other stuff included in it. It's like that's like, here, please take this. Just don't even ask any questions. Like, that's a fucking steal.
Right. I mean, basically, yeah. I mean, even with Fallout 4, you getting Fallout 3 with the Xbox. So, I mean, man, you got 3 good games right there. You know what I'm saying? You got 2 controllers, $300. That's, like I said, that's a steal. You know what I'm saying? I advise anybody to to jump on that deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a steal, and I put it in the in our chat box too, Grimpachi, so on Google if you want to look at that.
Okay.
Other than that, going to some new Microsoft news, which this all took place this week and everything. Microsoft is going to change the way they do their numbers. They are going to go by active users on Xbox Live, and I think why they're doing this is to kind of fool everybody that don't keep up with gaming news like we do. That it shows that the Xbox One is selling more because it's going by active users, and I'm not 100% sure, but they're going to include the 360. So that's active users of Xbox Live. So that's 360 and Xbox One. They're not going to go by their numbers with consoles no more. And it's kind of like, Microsoft's at a point now where they don't even want to talk about this shit no more. They're doing it's almost like they're avoiding units sold. They don't even want to be like they're trying to get away from the whole console. I don't know. Get away from the console war. What's your thoughts, Rampachi?
Personally, I don't really care because anybody knows I don't follow sales and stuff like that. Never have. That's why most of the times when we have these conversations, I have to ask for more information. That's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. I mean, I'm pretty sure the sites that tell you the actual units sold will still exist. So if you don't care about what Microsoft is saying, you can go look up the units sold still. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it is what it is. I don't know the motivations behind them doing it. I mean, because the number of users, I mean, like, what is the conversation? Is the conversation how many consoles you sold? If they reply by telling you the number of users they have, well, that's not the answer. That's something different. So if someone, I could see if someone was like, they ain't right if Microsoft, where they're asked, how many consoles did you sell? And they're talking about the users on Xbox Live. It doesn't equals console, so because you can I think you can pretty much make as many accounts on one console as you want, can't you?
I don't.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a limit, but
I don't know if it counts as one. Well, no, it should count as two. Yeah, you're right, Grimpachi. I think you're correct on that.
You can make like damn near as many accounts as you want. Like I'm pretty sure there's a limit at some point, but you can keep making accounts. I think on Xbox One the way it works is like as long as one person has live, everybody on that one system has live. So what is that? That doesn't tell units sold if that's the conversation. But I don't know. It doesn't bother me though.
Okay, what's your thoughts, Old Dirty, on Microsoft now changing the way that they report their sales numbers? Are you there, Old Dirty? Hello?
I don't know if he's there.
Yes, maybe something's up with his mic. I'll go with my thoughts, and if Old Dirty, if you come, just let me know. Like, just jump back in. But I think they are doing this basically just because they're trying to get away from the console war. Like I said, I think it's kind of like they're not in, they're pretty much getting their ass kicked. I love the Xbox One. I can't sit here and just deny this. It's like the Wii U. You look at the Wii U and everybody's like that. I owned a Wii U. I stuck with it for 3 years, and I sat in videos. Oh, it's a good console, but let's be real. The Wii U was not really a good console. It's not fucking supported. I'm sorry. It didn't have third party. The thing was fucking, in my book, it was shit. But I tried to be nice about it to not hurt people's feelings in videos so they don't get upset. But you got to keep shit real with the Xbox One. It's not really doing good compared to Sony. It is what it is. And Microsoft, I do have to give Microsoft this, though. They have tried everything, they can to get this thing fucking going right for people. So I do. When it comes to Microsoft trying as a company, I think they're the best ones out there right now doing the most for the gamer. They're actually helping us. And that's where I respect Microsoft. And I think the Xbox One is a fucking good console. I can actually sit there and say that about the Xbox One. I can't say that about the Wii U. I can't sit here in a video and say, well, guys, just on an 8-month drought with no third party, it's really good. Playing fucking Mario Kart still. I'm playing games on my Xbox One. I'm actually playing my Xbox One more than my PS4, to be honest. Just saying. Old Dirty, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess you got something happened or something. What's your thoughts about this whole Xbox One, the way Microsoft's going to be doing their numbers for it and they're going to be using active users on Xbox Live?
I was the same. It doesn't really bother me. You know, I don't really keep up with the sales. You know what I'm saying? It's to me, if I got the console, I can care less about the sales. But I mean, if they're going this route, I mean, damn, how many have the Xbox One sold? And it's like 15 million or something.
No, they're not near 15 million. They're like, does anybody know the active number or the numbers right now? I know PS4 at one time was at 25.3 million units sold, and Xbox was at like 10, I think, or 12. What does anybody know in the chat where the Xbox One is at right now in sales? I don't think it's at 15 million.
Oh wow. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
like I
it's,
said, it really don't matter to me if that's the route they want to go. You know, because I don't really keep up with sales on games or consoles.
well, the thing is, though, there's a problem here. It's good not to keep up, I guess, but the problem is if these consoles don't meet where these people want it, they'll scrap it and make another one. You know, and that's where it's going to be. That's where it's going to be the bad part, because then you're going to have to go out and buy Xbox too. So I like to keep up to see what's going on with it. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and I totally disagree with numbers. You guys know what I do on my channel. I report this in the podcast because this is what people's talking about. This is what they want to hear. I like to talk about hot topics. I like to talk about games. I like to keep, I like to keep it a variety. But I do talk about the big news. I don't, whether people like it or not, which most people say they don't like it, but this is all I hear them talking about. But yeah, I do think that the Xbox One, like with that whole interview with Phil Spencer when he was sitting there talking, and they asked him straight up, what about Sony, or what's your thoughts on Sony having this huge lead? He just started talking about, catering to the consumer. They know they're not doing good, but I mean, with this whole Nintendo NX now, if this comes out, like me and Old Dirty were talking earlier, if the Nintendo NX comes out and it's a more powerful console, would you guys think that would make the Xbox 2 come out faster than the PS5? Because Yoshida said, then I heard Yoshida say that it's all up to the developer whether they go make a PS5 or Xbox. That was Sony said PS5, nothing to do with Microsoft. That's what Yoshida said. But do you guys think if the NX did drop and it is successful, do you think that would push them to go to the Xbox or 2 and PlayStation 5 King Rapachi?
The only way that would possibly happen, and it won't be a good thing because more than likely it'll be rushed, is if the third-party developer, which is pretty much what's holding their systems together, just all go to Nintendo and they're just like, you know what, we can't really develop for your stuff because it's so weak or something of that nature. But that I doubt that'll happen. That's the only thing I could think of. If third parties just like the NX is so powerful, which I don't think is going to be that powerful. But if the NX is such a gap between the PS4 and Xbox One to the point that Nintendo somehow gets good third-party relation and they start making these games where it's like, damn, if we make a PS4 version, Xbox One version, it's almost like we're making a last-gen version. Then I guess then they'll make a new system, but I doubt it.
Okay, what's your thoughts, Old Dirty, on that?
I mean, it'll make Microsoft and Sony look because basically, the NX will be the 9th generation. So
that's the thing. We don't know with this whole thing. There's a lot of rumors floating around. We don't know if let's just say Nintendo does come out competing with the PS4 and Xbox One and makes a system on par. Let's see. What do you think they would do with that? And it's more powerful, but it's a tad bit more powerful than the PS4.
Well, if it's on par or just a bit tad, I mean, I don't see Microsoft or Sony really doing anything because it's right there with their console. But if it's stating like the rumors that we're hearing, like this state-of-the-art chip and that the software tech demo that they have on the dev kits that they say that they cannot run on this generation consoles, then that will make Microsoft and Sony like, look, that's giving Nintendo, a big lead in 9th generation. So within 2 years, we have to come up with something. and especially if they want to start to get third-party support. So if they getting games um, from the 1 and the 4, and plus exclusive games from third party using the power of the NX, if it's all true, then yeah, it'll make Microsoft and Sony like, yeah, it look like we're gonna have to, make this generation short, 5 to 6 years, and come out with something that's on par with the NX, to keep up, because you don't want Nintendo to be in the lead for next generation console that's out for 2 to 3 years, and come out and it's like maybe just on par with the NX, so it just makes you think. It's like a win lose if you kind of look at it. It all depends if the rumors are true with this console.
Yeah, then that's the thing. They're rumors. And one thing I want to address, Ninja Foxfire, shout out to Tech Rev and Shaner at Geek Essentials. He said in the comment section, he reported the numbers, 13.5 million units for the Xbox One. Thank you, I appreciate it. But then he says, but that's VG Charts saying, who cares about the numbers? Let's be gamers, man. I hate talking about numbers. It makes me fall asleep. Then he says, the boring talking about the numbers, why can't we all be gamers? Why are we being analysts? I want to fall asleep. This is not CNN. Where's TMZ? Hold on. Now with those rumors, hashtag not CNN. Now let me address this. Here on YouTube, I could do a fucking podcast dedicated to me and Grimpachi and Old Dirty right now could go in on Metal Gear Solid 5 and just talk about the game from front to back. Guaranteed, none of you motherfuckers would watch it. Very few, if that. I've seen it. I've done it. Where we sat there and just talked about games. If you're not talking about a hot topic, nobody gives a fuck. And everybody's sitting here saying they don't care about this topic, you're full of shit. Let's just be real. I've seen countless fucking videos on this. NPD sales, this, that, this. Yes, some people don't want to hear it. Some people actually do care about games, but most people don't want to fucking sit there and listen to people talk about games. Am I wrong for saying that, Old Dirty?
No, you're not wrong. I mean, there's people that do want to hear, about, that's heavily into sales on games and consoles, you know what I'm saying, and other stuff. But, hey,
if you were to sit here and talk in this podcast about a game, just games, nothing else, talking about what we liked about a game, different levels, whatever, do you think people would watch this podcast in this community?
No, it would be a small few. Because most people in this community wants to hear drama.
Yeah.
If you don't have drama mixed in with it, they definitely don't want to sit and hear about, a game that they play or that they want to play. They don't want to hear it, But if we got some drama thrown in there, after each segment of a game we talk about, they'll sit there and listen to it. They even comment.
I issued Tech Rev a challenge on your next podcast. Talk just about games and see what kind of views you get. Just being honest. I'm just keeping it real. That's why in this podcast I do talk about this shit and I mix it with games because nobody's gonna watch me and Grimpachi and Old Dirty just sit here and talk about games. It's just not gonna happen. A majority of people won't. This is what people care about. That's why I mention this shit. I don't like talking about sales. I don't mind them. I like to see what's going on with the consoles. It's not that big of a deal to me, but to most people, that's all they fucking care about. They want to know which console's in the lead. But I just wanted to put that out there. But what's up, Levon? How's it going, buddy?
Oh, what's up, man? What's up? I just got back up from sleeping.
Oh, okay. He just got up from sleeping. Ozzy Gamer, too. How's it going, man?
Good, you?
Pretty good. Showing the Xbox One. He picked up the, what bundle is that? The Halo 5, right?
It's been great so far.
Oh, okay. How are you liking it, the Xbox One? What's your opinion of the Xbox One since you owned it?
It is the best box. That's all I can say. It is the great box.
Shout out to Sicilian.
I have no idea who that is.
He gonna kill you all.
Yes, Stallions, everybody's marked for death. But yeah, I'm not jumping on Tech Rev or nothing like that. I'm just he said the comments, so I did want to put that out there. I've seen Wolflow go on about games in his podcast, talk in detail about everything, and great dude, great channel. I love Wolflow. He's a good dude. I used to love having him on the podcast, but he's busy doing his own thing now, and I'm proud of him. But I've seen him do it, and not many people watch. They just didn't even watch that podcast, and I don't believe it. I don't understand it myself, but it just shows you what type of community this is. People want me attacking. I hate to say I'm not putting him on the spot or not, but when I got mad at Real Gamer recently, that's what they want to see. You know what I had people tell me? Dave, I love your videos lately. You're doing great. Here I am attacking some guy, whether it was my fault or his fault. I'm not putting it, like that, but that's what people want to see. Or they want to hear talk about sales. People say they don't want drama. People say they don't want sales, but that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just being real. All right, let's move from Microsoft from that. I'm trying to think about anything else I wanted to add on that. There was one more thing with Microsoft I thought I had to say with that whole thing. If I remember, it'll come back to me. All right. Well, since I got you guys in here, what do you guys think about Microsoft changing the way that they do their units sold? They're not going to report that. They're just going to do active users on Xbox Live. I guess they're going to include the 360 and make it look like they have more sales. What's your thoughts, Ozzy?
They should care about most of the sales, If they, what was it?
Why do you think they're doing it, though, Ozzy? Is it to make themselves look more relevant against Sony, or?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, okay. What about you, Levon?
Don't care. Don't care for it.
Okay, all right. All right. Huh?
It is a competition, after all.
Yeah, it's a race. That's all. Now, I remember back in the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis days, there was competition like that, but it wasn't like now. But I think that's because of the media and the internet. It's that's what's making a big difference. If we had that back in the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis days, maybe it'd be like that then, but we didn't have that. We had like Game Informer and Electric Gaming Monthly and shit like that. That's where you got like any type of news like that, or you were talking to it with your buddies, like, oh, your Sega sucks, Super Nintendo's better, Genesis is garbage, stuff like that, or Genesis is better, whatever.
Yeah.
But all right, moving on to the next thing. And I'm gonna do that a challenge too. In one of the upcoming podcasts, I'm going to talk nothing about games. I'm going to go we're going to talk about games, and I'm going to put I want to match that podcast views up with my other ones and see what happens. I am going to do that challenge myself too. I didn't just only issue that to Tech Rev. But I know I already know the outcome. Okay, next thing I want to talk about, some other shit with, what about, I don't want to do that. Guess we'll go on about Halo 5. Halo 5, I'll bring this topic. I guess I'll do this now. Halo 5 did a Guardians bundle. They did a, where they basically what was the bundle called? Was it just the one with the collector's edition and the game? It was $250.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
I don't know the exact name for that bundle. Just let's say the Halo 5 bundle, for
It's Guardians Collector's Edition.
Okay, the 200, because they have a couple of them, so that's why I'm asking. I don't know which one that one was exactly called. But for $250, you get awesome fucking statues and everything, but they gave you a digital game. And most people are sitting here saying, oh, digital's not the future, blah, blah, blah.
But it is.
What's your thoughts about getting a digital game for $250? Like, you get the statues, but they're giving you a digital game. Is anybody opposed by that, or Finger and Pachi?
I don't think they should have gave you a digital game, but they've been giving digital games and collector's editions pretty much since the middle of last generation. I already told you in the comments, I don't think it's necessarily a push towards digital, although I'm not stupid. I know they want to push towards digital, but I don't think that's the reason they give you a digital copy in the collector's edition. I think they give you a digital copy in the collector's edition because it's cheaper.
But why'd they give the steel case? They gave the steel case, but not the game in it. Like, why even bother giving you the steel case?
I mean,
That's
that's what came in the. That's what they wanted to give you. They wanted to give you a steel case for every dumbass reason when you don't have a
Isn't
disc.
that crazy though? Like
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's just like their collector's edition that costs hundreds of dollars that didn't give you a game. Period.
Okay, but
Their collector's editions that give you a statue, a book, some type of toy, whatever. It don't even come with a game, digital or physical. So what I'm saying is that it's really because you gotta really think about it. Those toys and things, that's plastic. It don't cost nothing. You know what I'm saying? It only costs something because they throw it in this big gigantic box and say it's worth a lot. It's really not. If you were to go buy that Halo statue and if it was just a normal toy sold, maybe you're paying $30 for that toy. Maybe.
Oh,
Maybe. That's probably stretching it too. Because toys really probably don't even sell as much as they used to. But what I'm saying is I don't think they gave you a digital copy to push towards digital in this case. I think they gave you a digital copy just because it's cheaper. It's cheaper to give you a digital copy. And then what they probably do is they probably kind of sell it as if they're charging you as if you're getting a physical disc. But you're really not. You're getting digital code. That's easier to do, and they make more money.
I just thought it was crazy for $250 they're giving you the steel case because I was just looking at the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection that they had the steel case and actually came with the game for $100. But here's $250. They give you the steel case, but there's no physical game in it. And I was just like, damn. I was like, that's fucking crazy. I'm sorry. Like, I'm a digital person. I do like digital, but I couldn't imagine spending $250 and not getting a fucking disc. Like, what's your thoughts, Old Dirty, on that?
Yeah, I was surprised that a disc did not come with it because I'm more of a physical. You know what I'm saying? I got a few digital, but I'm more physical. So if I would have, brought this, I would have been, upset. But I mean, I guess I just had to take the loss. You know what I'm saying? But I would rather have the physical because if you put a steel case in there, I mean, what is the steel case for? To just to add, put it on the shelf with my other Xbox One game just to say I got it, but it's on the hard drive? Like, it's weird.
I just was blown away, but I'm sorry. That's a lot of money because even with my collector's edition, I don't buy it. So let me put this out there too. I don't buy a lot of these collector's editions. The Mortal Kombat one was the first one I ever bought. So that's why maybe I'm not aware that there are ones that people have spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on that don't even come with a disc. But I was fucking blown away because mine came with a disc with my statue of Scorpion. But that one's like that was $150. That's $250, and they're not even giving you a fucking. They're giving you the case though. They're giving you the steel case, but no disc. So, what's your thoughts, Levon? Is Levon there?
The Halo.
The Halo 5 collector's edition for $250, coming with a steel case but no physical disc.
Oh, that sucks. If only it came with a physical disc. That's what I think. It should come with one, anyways.
Okay.
Man, because it's $250.
I mean, that's like the price of a console. I mean,
yeah, it's like $100 less than the Xbox One itself.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. If I could see if maybe, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. What's your thoughts, Aussie Gamer?
I wasn't gonna buy it anyway. I was gonna buy the bundle anyway. So.
No, but I'm just saying. Don't you think the collector's edition with no disc? What's your opinion on that? Do you think they should give a disc, or they're okay with the digital?
They should give you an option if you want digital or not.
Okay, so you're going with an option. They should give you an option. Now, Old Dirty, you were saying they are trying to get physical copies for people or some shit?
Yeah, it was. I seen it on the channel. I think it was Machinima. They was trying to see if they can, Microsoft can ship out this to these so-called people that ordered the collector's edition. I guess it's still up in the air. I haven't heard anything else.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I think they're doing that for the console and the collector's edition, where basically you call Microsoft up and you tell them you don't want the digital code, you want the disc, and then you have to tell them you can't redeem the code. You know, it gotta be unused. You tell them the code, they check to see if it was being redeemed or not. Then once they do that, they'll ship you a disc. So if you don't want the the digital code, you want the disc. I think they're
Oh,
doing that for other games too, but I'm pretty sure they are. But I know for a fact they're doing that with Halo 5.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's basically that topic. I was just kind of surprised by that. Another thing I want to talk about. Do you think backwards compatibility can be done with the PS4? And or not pretty much, with Sony saying it can't. Do you think it's actually easy for them to do it, or do you think it's actually hard for them to do it? Because they're not really giving us the answer if it can or can be done. They left it up in the air. What I'm getting at too? Do you think the reason they're not doing backwards compatibility because they want to do remasters, King Rapachi?
With the PS2 and PS1, yeah, it's easy at this point. Maybe not with your disc, but like they have PS1 and PS2 digital games on the PS3 store, and as a matter of fact, with the release of what's the game, Star Wars, they're actually putting PS2 games on the store, like some PS2 Star Wars games. So PS2 and PS1 can easily come over, and I don't mean through PlayStation. I mean like you just download it on your console. It's there. Now, when it comes to PS3, that's a little tricky. The architecture for the PS3 was so different with the cell processor. They would probably have to more than likely recode the game to get it on the PS4. So that, that's kind of like, damn near they might as well remaster it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why, like when it comes to Sony and the backwards compatibility, I mean, obviously they could have gave you a console with backwards compatibility, but that would have mean that they would be using a cell processor.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously they didn't go with that, so it's understandable why they can't just easily give you some PS3 games. But
Well,
if it's PS2, PS1, then yeah, that should be able to just come over.
what I'm getting at though, everybody says the PS4 is 50% more powerful. Why can the Xbox One do it without too many issues? Like the PS4 seems to have a little bit more of a problem doing backwards compatibility. Does it have anything to do with PlayStation Now and their remasters that they want to really push that?
Well, of course, when it comes to both Microsoft and Sony, they want to make money off the remasters. And Sony also put a lot of investment in that PS Now. So obviously they're not probably even thinking about doing it. But like I said, when it comes to PS3 games, the architecture with the PS3 compared to the PS4 is so different. The Xbox One and the 360's architecture is different, but it's not that different where they can do that little half-ass emulation, because that's not even I mean, it's backwards compatibility no matter how you want to look at it, but it's almost equivalent to me emulating the game on my PC. That's what Microsoft is doing on the Xbox One, and that's what they did on the 360 as well. So can Sony emulate a PS3 on the PS4? I don't necessarily think they can. So
Okay.
and I doubt if they'll try, because like I said, they want PS Now to sell, so they're not going to try to do it.
Okay. What's your thoughts, Aussie Gamer? Do you think the PS4 basically, can do backwards compatibility, but maybe Sony just don't want to do it because they want to push their PlayStation Now and their remasters more? Do you think, because what I'm looking at with the Xbox One, they can do it, but here's the PS4, 50% more powerful, and they're saying it's not, I think, what did they say? It's not out of the question, but it's, that's pretty much what they said. It might be done, but it's not out of the question. Something along the lines of some shit like that. What's your thoughts? Are you there,
They could do it, but they need the money. So they got to do more remasters. So
okay. All right. What's your thoughts, Old Dirty?
Yes, it can be done. It's the most powerful console on Earth, and they don't want to do it because they want us to pay for PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
Well, remember the PS3 when that came out, and the Fat Boys, they were fucking backwards compatible, and then they made the next model that wasn't. What was the story behind that? Why did that happen? I wasn't in the whole YouTube gaming scene around there. What was the whole reason for that? Anybody know?
For what?
Why did they stop backwards compatibility on the PS3?
Oh, because they were charging you $600 and for a PS3, and they wanted the price to be dropped, so they took out the chip that allowed for backwards compatibility with the disc with the PS2.
Oh, so it's basically on price. That's what they
Yeah,
were.
the price to give you a cheaper console, they took the I forgot the name of the chip out. They took the PS2 emulation chip out, right? Which would
Oh,
read the PS2 disc through emulation.
because
Some PS3s without the chip could still do emulation through a PlayStation 2 patch emulation, but most of them didn't work.
oh, okay, that's interesting, man. Yeah, I wasn't on the whole YouTube scene around that time, so I wasn't following gaming news like I am now, so I didn't know that. I knew some things, but not like I know now with fucking all these companies and everything, what they're doing or who they're firing. But yeah, that's pretty interesting, man. All right, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that subject. I think it's basically they can do it, they just don't want to because they want to make money on remasters.
Honestly, I think they should make a USB proprietary attachment for the PS4 just to make it backwards compatible.
Oh.
Maybe.
That's what I think.
But how would that work?
How would that work?
Yeah, I mean, you said like a USB attachment, but how would it work?
Okay, so you know you like what proprietary accessories that's on the PS4 like controllers and stuff.
Hmm? Like,
Yeah.
But how would it work? It would just detect the PS4 itself. Like if you put it to anything else, it would be called a CD player.
oh, so you saying they should make some type of PlayStation 3 CD player and then attach it to the PlayStation 4?
Yeah, like an attachment.
Sega CD.
Oh, well, heck, who knows? Maybe they could do it, Levon. Well, that's a good one, Levon. I'll give you that, but I don't think it's going to happen. But what do you think, Kringapachi? Can that be done?
More than likely not. Well, you could put a PS3 disc in your PS4, and it understands it's a PS3 disc in the PS4. It just can't read it. I mean, it can read it enough to understand that you have a PlayStation 3 disc in the system, but it cannot, play the game. Equivalent to if you put a 360 disc or a PS3 disc. I don't know about PS3 disc, but a 360 disc and a PS2 disc in your computer, it'll understand that's a Xbox 360 disc. It's just not, but you won't be able to play the game.
Oh, okay. See, what I think they're going to do with these consoles, I think next time around, and I have heard this reported on IGN by one of the developers of some game or whatever, one of these companies, I forgot exactly who it was, but I've been thinking this for a while. Remember how like Sega used to use those attachments for like 32X and all them and Sega CD? I think basically what they're going to do with these consoles, the next ones, so they're not underpowered or whatever, they're going to make a console where you basically can upgrade it every 2-3 years. You buy the attachment, and for the next wave of games that come out, like it has to have that attachment. But this attachment can play these games and previous, and I think they'll just have you updating the console. I could see that being done. Do you guys think so or no?
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, they were basically going to do that with like the 64DD and the Sega disk drive did that too. I mean, so yeah, I mean, it could be done again.
Wouldn't that make sense though? Like they say, oh, for $200, year 3 of the console of the PlayStation 5, buy this attachment, and there's your fucking upgraded graphics. That would save a lot of stuff. Like developers wouldn't be whining for more power, and everybody would like that. Got more better graphics. I think it'd be better to do that instead of make a whole new console. You have to go run out and spend $400 on or $500.
Well, I don't know about in 3 years they're asking for a $200 add-on device.
Well, like 3-4 years, do an add-on for $150, $200, But what I'm saying is, that the year that you got there can play all them games up to the attachment, and when the attachment comes, it can play those games and back. But the next one is all new wave of games, 2-3 years down the line. I mean, the way technology's going, I could see that happening. Because, I mean, it is. Look how fast the new cell phones come out, new fucking computers, like cell phones coming out every year, a new fucking iPhone. I mean, you don't ever think consoles are going to get like that?
I don't think they're going to get like that because, I mean, consoles and cell phones are two different things. Like the market and how those people treat the phone compared to how a console works. Like a phone starts to, like, they purposely design the phone so that after so long, your phone basically starts to die. So you kind of need to upgrade your phone because after a while, the phone just stops working because they make it to stop working. But, when it comes to the console, I mean, your consoles, if it was made properly, it wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? It won't just die out on you for no apparent reason. But, I mean, you buy a phone at $600. Most people ain't paying $600 for that phone anyway. They got some deal through their plan, or they sold their first phone, and they're paying like maybe $100 for the new phone. You know what I'm saying? Even with console deals, when you trade them in, you're not paying you're paying what? Maybe can get half off of the console price by trading in the old machine, but that's stretching it too. So that's why I don't think that will happen unless the console.
Well, I'm not saying like a yearly thing. I'm saying like I could see every 3 years them making a new attachment or something. Not every year, but where I'm comparing to the cell phones are doing that, but every year. I see technology getting just faster and faster. And just how everybody's always complaining, this ain't powerful enough, this ain't this, that would solve the problem where they could just do an attachment and all the developers are happy. And I could see it happening. I mean, you got people complaining that these consoles are tapped out already,
Who? The developers are saying that, or the gamers?
Gamers are saying this because I don't think these consoles are
gamers.
I don't know too many developers saying that these consoles are, tapped out. You know what I'm saying? That's the gamer, and the gamer says whatever they're going to say until they see what they want to see and they shut up, or they don't never see what they want to see. They keep buying it anyway. I mean,
Well, with the Xbox One not reaching, on a lot of their games, they're getting better with it now. But 1080p, wouldn't it be, easier for them just to have some kind of attachment that could make things better instead of because basically, if that's what everybody wanted, 1080p 60 frames per second, do you think they can do that with the Xbox One through this DirectX 12? Do you think that's going to solve the problem?
I doubt that. It's just going to make games easier to code and make maybe some games run smoother. It's not going to I don't think it's going to just make all games 1080p or anything like that. But at the same time, gamers don't really care about the average gamer. We can't get the YouTube guys twisted with the average person. The average gamer does not care about 1080p 60 frames. They don't even know the difference between native 1080p and it being upscaled through the console itself. You're not going to recognize any of that stuff. I'm playing Halo 4 right now at quote-unquote 1080p. It's being upscaled to 1080p. I mean, it looks old, but it doesn't look bad. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be a big deal to the average consumer. Like, what's the game that everybody like? I liked it too. Wolfenstein. That had the fluctuation resolution on consoles, but no one knew it. So did Killzone. Killzone had the little fluctuating in the multiplayer resolution. No one knew it until later, and really, no one really cared. I mean, well, some people sued over it, but so no one truly cares because they don't even notice. They don't know.
But who's to say that the PlayStation that's supposedly 1080p? Who's to say that their games ain't being upscaled to 1080p from maybe 900 to 1080p?
Said, I'm pretty sure it was DICE that said they tapped out the consoles with Battlefield 4.
Damn.
If DICE did say that, that's one developer out of all the developers. So I don't know anymore that said it. If that is true, I don't know who's saying that it's tapped out. Regardless if it's tapped.
You do say the mass audience, and I'll say one thing. My brother, we were riding one day in the truck, and he was talking because he remembers when these consoles were coming out, how they were running, their mouths saying, "Oh, 1080p, 60 frames per second." And my brother even said this, and he's not into gaming news like we are. He said these consoles most of them aren't even doing that. Yeah, they were pushing these consoles like that. They were going to do 1080p, 60 frames per second, you know. So there is some of the mass audience that was looking at that. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, you have it's funny to always see the Xbox One struggling to get those, you know. To me, I agree with Grimpachi though. When I play my Xbox One games, I don't see the difference from the like I played both versions of a lot of these games, like the both versions of Destiny. Both versions to me look same, look like on both consoles. I can't see a difference. Now, when it comes to like Advanced Warfare, I did notice a little difference from the PS4 to the Xbox One. But most games, I don't see a difference. That's why I've been getting a lot of my games on the Xbox One third party. Because I have a bigger hard drive, too. You know, I have more space in my Xbox One. But to me, it's not a big noticeable difference, you know, from the two. But there was people that were looking for that, you know, the 1080p 60. It's not just YouTube people. There is some people out there that were looking at that. Because I remember that was a big push for these consoles.
All right, guys. I'll see you later at the after party or whatever.
All right.
Okay.
Don't drink too much.
Get you some sleep now.
Yeah, he's up nonstop. Seems tired all the time. He fell asleep in Poppy 2K's podcast. But
Yeah, I look at it as, you know, I think, to me, if you put a bunch of TVs side by side in a room with the same game playing, not showing what console is playing the games, nobody can really tell the difference between the 900 to the 1080. Now, if you're looking at the console, be like, oh, okay, this TV got the Xbox One version, and this TV got the PlayStation 4. Oh yeah, I see a difference. No, you don't. Your mind is playing trickery with you because you want to believe that you see a difference because you see the Sony machine, which in that you don't see a difference. You don't see this big major difference where it's like, oh my god, like I just can't have an Xbox because the games just look terrible in 900p. Like, motherfucker, we're watching TV in 720p. So it's just people's minds. It's just people's minds. That's all it is. It's just play tricks. They mind want them to believe. They believe it that it is a difference. So your eyes is going to let you be like, yeah, you see a difference because you see the Sony Xbox machine right there. But I guarantee you, if they just seen the TV side by side with the same game and didn't see no console hooked up to it, guarantee they couldn't tell you. They'd damn near have to put their face on the fucking screen to try to tell you something. And that's just how it is. It's just how it is. It's how it go.
Okay.
all right, yeah. Aishi said pretty much with the whole thing. Where'd he go with that? Let me see his comment. He said, it looks good, but I'm saying DICE squeezed everything they could and still couldn't manage to get 1080p 60 frames per second on Battlefield 4. So, just putting that out there. But yeah, that's that topic. Next thing I want to talk about, it's not a gaming topic, but I just want to bring this up because this is something in my past that I know a lot of gaming channels talk about. I do see this mentioned a lot. The WWE, I guess, it's hitting an all-time low lately. I guess wrestling pretty much is on its way out if Vince McMahon don't decide to fix things. And I've been thinking this for a while. I stopped watching wrestling when the Rock and the Stone Cold, their shit faded out. After that, and to be fair, it was dying then. It was dead then. You know, it was kind of dead then. They just kind of, you know, gave it that adrenaline shot in the heart and jumped it back up for a sec, but it was fucking dead. You know, I flip back and forth and have looked at wrestling here and there ever since I stopped watching it. Like, I'll see it, glance at it for a little bit. But when you look at the storylines that they got going now, like the writers, and you look at the wrestlers they even got, like they had that guy CM Punk as a champion. That guy's a fucking midget, and he's fucking cut. He's not taller than me. You know, I remember with wrestling when you had fucking Andre the Giant, Triple H. You know, he was a big dude. Stone Cold was like, in my opinion, like Ultimate Warrior, like you looked at those dudes and I seen a champion. I could believe that guy's the heavyweight champion. I don't believe CM Punk as a champion. I don't believe like people like Eddie Guerrero. I know he's the one that passed, but one of them, if it was his cousin, one of them were champion, I think, at one time, not too long ago. Like these little dudes as champions, I don't see it. It's not believable. And I just wanted to bring this topic up because I guess it's a big issue, and I thought it'd be good something to talk about because it's something about my past that I like to talk about. I was big into wrestling at one time. I used to go to all the pay-per-views. I've met a lot of wrestlers, but I guess it's at an all-time low where it's possibly about on its way out. What's your thoughts, Old Dirty?
You know what, Dave? I haven't watched a wrestling in years, and I tried to watch one maybe a couple of months ago, and I was like, "This is sad." Like, you got people here called the beautiful people. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, nobody has that charisma, like from the '90s. You know what I'm saying? In the 2000s. Early 2000. It's like when the Rock, Triple H, Stone Cold, when they started leaving, even Chris Jericho, that dude was hilarious. They don't have those people now that has that charisma on the mic. They don't. It's just boring.
Would you think it's to me, this is my opinion. I could say it's the story writers. But when you really think about it, it is the story writers. But the problem that the story writers are probably having, they probably got good story writers. It's just this story's been told so many fucking times you can't tell it different. Everything's been done in wrestling. I've even seen The Undertaker getting his wife stalked, like DDP was down in like a dungeon or under her house stalking Undertaker's wife. You've seen drug problems. Like they've literally. I remember when they started turning wrestling into a soap opera. Like it was not wrestling no more. It was like basically a reality show. And I was like, how much longer could wrestling hold on after that? And now it's finally, I guess, on its last leg. It's been on its last leg, but now I think the ratings are dropping. And once those ratings drop anymore, they'll shut that shit down. I guess this recent pay-per-view or recent Raw. They had brought Stone Cold back out, all these big wrestlers, just to get some views, and it still did bad. So, what's your thoughts, King Grimpachi? Were you ever a wrestling fan, or?
Never was that big into wrestling. I watch it from time to time. I think the only time I was watching it, a decent amount was when I don't remember the name of the group. It was like when Triple H teamed up with some other guy. And
Generation X.
Yeah, that was the only time I was really paying somewhat of attention to it. Wrestling is cool, but I haven't watched it so long. I don't even know what's going on anymore. But
could you ever see it fading out completely? Like if the WWE was to go, if it was to go, like that's the last big wrestling. You do have those other ones like TNA and all that, but WWE is pretty much the big one. That's when I see WWE off there, to me wrestling's gone. This other shit, no, I ain't feeling it. That's even worse garbage than what the WWE's become. Some people say, "Oh, this is bad." No, it's fucking trash. Let's just be real, people. Come on. But do you ever see it just totally fading out, Grimpachi?
If you mean the WWE, yeah, potentially. But wrestling as a whole, no. I don't think wrestling will ever go away.
I'm talking like, will you see wrestling like it is on TV now with the WWE? Do you ever see that like fading away, like where it's not like Monday night isn't the wrestling night no more? You may have to go to a event in your town to go see it or something, or
I could see that happening. Yeah.
Okay. I think UFC killed wrestling.
I wouldn't say you. I think UFC may have killed boxing, but not wrestling. I think wrestling killed itself. Like I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that. I wouldn't compare wrestling because the wrestling that we see, like it's weird. I can't say it's 100% fake because those guys and those girls have to prepare themselves to take those hits. Because yes, some of the things they do are like orchestrated, but they are getting slammed, on the mat. They're not getting hit sometimes. You clearly tell they're not getting hit, but they are getting slammed down on tables. So they gotta be prepared for that. So I'm not gonna say they're not physically in shape,
Well,
But
it's fake to an extent.
yeah,
They
yeah,
are taking hits, but it's predetermined. They know who's going to win the match. They're
yeah.
basically working together to put on a good show. They are taking hits, like with the chairs. That is real, because Mick Foley one time was on Dateline with his wife, and there was a match with The Rock and Mick Foley where Mick Foley was handcuffed, and The Rock and him were just beating each other in the head with chairs. And he said after that match he had suffered brain damage to where he basically could not find his way home. Like, he don't drive himself no more.
Damn.
Yeah, so
He took a beating.
so
Yeah.
when it comes down to rest, I mean, I can see it fading away because I don't even think how popular is actual wrestling.
Like, what are we talking about? Actual wrestling?
Like high school wrestling or college. I don't even think that's that popular in the sense people watch it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe at the school they do, but not on TV.
Well, when I'm talking about wrestling, I'm talking about the entertainment wrestling, like the WWE and stuff. The other wrestling, I have no idea, but wrestling like Andre the Giant, Ultimate Warrior, Jake the Snake Roberts, Roddy Piper, all them dudes, I just really don't see it going on much longer. When I was losing interest in it, I thought to myself, I was like, am I just really tired of this, or does this just fucking suck? And I think it just fucking sucked because I used to love wrestling, and it just, to me, the wrestlers are horrible, the storylines are trash, and just overall, it's just not entertainment no more. It's supposed to be wrestling entertainment, and it's not entertaining no more. What's your thoughts, Ozzy? You like wrestling, don't you?
Yep. Even though I was, a WCW type of person back then, I started watching WCW back then, with Sting, Goldberg, DDP, Bret Hart was in there for a little bit, Hulk Hogan was, and then, with Goldberg doing the streak and all, everyone was going carrying,
Mm-hmm.
back then, it was excitement back then in the 90s, and when the 2000s came along, everything became different. You started to see different things happen, and then after that, I didn't watch wrestling until back in 2002 when I started to go back into wrestling, watching wrestling basically with the Triple H and Shawn Michaels feud in SummerSlam. That was a great match back then, and Brock Lesnar versus The Rock. Back then, back then, my heart was like pounding because I thought wrestling was real back then. I thought, yeah, back then. But now I know it's not real. So, but they do take hits, without blood and that stuff. But then the years later, John Cena came around. John, you can't see me. Blah blah blah. Blah, 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 blah. Winning matches after winning, you started to get sick of it, That's where I started, not watching hardly anymore,
Well, like, now anybody can become the champion. I could be the fucking champion in WWE if they let me in there. It's like I said earlier, the champions aren't even believable. Like, it's not even. I don't see that guy holding the title. A majority of the people they have as champions. It's just,
John Cena winning. I'm sick of it.
John Cena, I think he's like a dude for like the children, but they need to do something with him. They have a good wrestler, I guess there. He's but they need to turn him like into a heel or something, maybe a bad guy, or if they already did that, I don't know. They probably already did it and it failed. I don't know. I'm trying to help them out here, but I just think there is no help for the WWE. I was watching a video from this guy. He's called, let me get his name right. This guy had me fucking rolling with the, his name's Wrestling Jesus Space fan page, and he was basically talking about the WWE and how it's flopping, and he ain't gonna talk about it on his channel no more. It is hilarious. Shout out to you, buddy. I watched one of your videos for the first time today, and he actually said it's getting to the point now to where a lot of these wrestlers are so old, and I agree with them, that where you're gonna see the Undertaker eventually die in the ring. He's just going to collapse one day because he can't do it no more. He said he's already had issues where he fell and collapsed in the ring. These guys are fucking old. And it's getting to a point they gotta find some new blood that's worth a shit, you know. But I just wanted to touch on the whole wrestling thing. I guess it hit really low ratings, and if it keeps going lower, we're probably not gonna have WWE no more. That's the end of that. But I wanted to touch, huh?
You know, it sucks to be a WWE fan. You know.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the people that do like it because it ain't gonna be around much longer if it keeps up. I think it is gonna end, but there could be Vince McMahon could come up with this master plan and bring it all back. You know, I mean, maybe he's just not really. Maybe he's got to get more controversy. I don't know. I don't know what else they could do to get that going. Like, who knows?
The money, after all.
I mean, I've seen everything on wrestling pretty much. I mean, they got all kinds of shit going on. All the girls doing shit. I remember all kinds of shit. You know, like I said, I was
someone to come in the ring and get shot.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's basically in someone to get shot in the ring or something. I don't know. We've seen alcohol issues with Jake the Snake. I've seen all kinds of stuff. You know, like they've done drug issues. That's where, to me, wrestling. This is where I thought they messed up with wrestling. When you used to watch Monday Night Raw, you used to watch wrestling, and then at the last 15, 20 minutes, they would do a storyline. Then all of a sudden, you started seeing the whole fucking thing become a storyline. Like the beginning of the first, right, and then after a while, you could count almost from the beginning of the show. Somebody's going to walk out with a microphone. They're going to talk for about a half hour. Then somebody's going to run in with a chair and hit them. I mean, it was so predictable after a while. And then this is how it always became with the championship matches. Everybody's all hyped up for the match leading up to WrestleMania or some bullshit. And then all of a sudden, there's a disqualification. and you're like, what the fuck? There's no way to become a champion? It's just bullshit. It just became a bunch of crap after a while, And I'm telling you, they have done everything possibly they could do in wrestling except probably shoot each other, like Rapachi said, But that's our thoughts on wrestling. So I just want to touch on that. This week, today, we actually had Assassin's Creed Syndicate come out. And for the most part, I've seen good reviews on it. Some people said it basically is just another Assassin's Creed game, but they have improved like a lot of their flaws. But I did hear it has like a bad ending. The ending is bad, and that's what turned me away from it. Just for the time being, I still want to play it. I like the whole London setting, but I'm getting Halo 5 Tuesday. I already got a bunch of games. What am I going to buy Assassin's Creed? It's just going to sit there. So basically, what's your guys' thoughts on some of the reviews you've seen on, if you have seen reviews on Assassin's Creed, what's your thoughts on the new Assassin's Creed and the series overall? Like, do you think they should keep continuing this shit, or King Rampachi?
I think Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Well, let me answer that first. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I watched some reviews, and it is a game just like Unity that I want to pick up. The question is it going to work on PC? Now, if I get a console, then I don't have to worry about it. It's about on the damn console. But it's not out on PC. It's out on PC in November, so I won't know until then. But Assassin's Creed is a weird series with me. Like, it's one of those series where I like them, like how they play, even though they still have the same issue. You can't properly run all over the place. You'll always get stuck on something like that. That hasn't been fixed to this day. But I just recently got Assassin's Creed 2 on Steam, and I'm enjoying it still. Like the core mechanics of Assassin's Creed, it's one of those mindless, and I mean this in the most positive way possible. It's a mindless, fun game. It's truly no challenge to it, and that's why I like playing them. And I don't mind those. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind those types of games. I call them a podcast game. It's a game I'm sitting here in a podcast. I'm playing the game. I'm not really paying attention to the plot because I don't care. I'm just playing the game, going through the checklist, take over this part of the town, cool. I'm done. I turn it off and play it later. It's games I buy for $15, $20 at the most. You know what I'm saying? So I don't mind if they keep making them. I don't, they're all right. They're average games. So they're cool with me as far as I know.
Okay. What's your thoughts, Old Dirty, on Assassin's Creed Syndicate? What's your thoughts on, like, the overall series? What's your thoughts?
Syndicate looks okay. Kind of remind me of Unity. But I do want to try the DLC that go to it called Jack the
Jack,
Ripper. I do want to try that. I don't know. Do you have to have Syndicate in order to play that, or is it just standalone? You know, like DLC. But I think with the way that they moving Assassin's Creed, I think Assassin's Creed should be like a 2 year thing. I don't think it should be like every 10 months like they doing. It should be a every 2 year, and give it a fresh start and a fresh coat of paint. Go somewhere else. We done London. We done seen everything in London, Paris, France, whatever they usually be in, and put it in like medieval time or something, or put it in modern time or something like that. But I think they should give it to us like every 2 years, like they did with the first one to the second one. But I think with the second one, people started catching on more with Assassin's Creed because I remember one was actually good, and I was asking a lot of people that you play this game Assassin's Creed, and they're like, "Nah, I didn't really get into that game." But it was the second one where people actually jumped aboard, and it just took off from there. And Ubisoft just been releasing, you know, sequels after sequels ever since. So I think they should just slow down a little bit and do it like every 2 years.
Yep. What about you, Aussie Gamer? What's your thoughts on Assassin's Creed Syndicate and the overall series as a whole? Right there,
I
Aussie?
always, I always liked the Assassin's Creed series, but do I want it to end? No, but it needs to have a break, you know. We need to have like a 2 to 3 year break because the Assassin's Creed games are starting to come, everywhere. Assassin's Creed Chronicles, Assassin's Creed Rogue, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Assassin's Creed Unity. I mean, it's too much.
Why do you think they're doing it so much? Is it just because it's selling so well, or like, did they just not want to? They like, what do you think their whole reasoning behind doing these games all the time? It's just because it seems to me that looking at the sales, the best one that ever sold the most was Assassin's Creed 3, 6.42 million units sold.
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed 2 sold 5.52 million units sold. So it does do fairly well. Black Flag sold 3.85 million units sold on the PS3. So that I mean, hate to say it, guys, but the damn series sells. That's the problem. That's why they're doing it. Unity even sold well.
yeah, but it
So
was
I
no.
mean,
First day it was launched, and people were angry about it, and people don't want bugs. It turns off people, and then people won't buy the game series anymore if they have a bad experience like that.
yeah, this one I didn't hear any bad bugs about it or anything. That it seems not to be like Unity. It's just the only bad thing I heard negative about this one is its ending. Like I said, I'm interested in it, but with Halo 5 dropping Tuesday, and I'm picking up Star Wars, and I'm picking up most likely Tomb Raider. I just don't see the time to play Assassin's Creed game. You have to really have time to sit there and play because there's a lot of shit to do in that game. But it feels like to me, what I do with games like that, for anybody advice, I just take a break from it and then pick it up maybe 2, 3 years later, like whatever one comes out then, and you should enjoy it.
I think that's why like I don't like when people say, "Man, I wish this series would stop or end or stuff." Like the only time I mean, I don't wish a series to stop, but like take the Uncharted series. I feel that after 4, depending on how 4 ends, if it ends in a way like I feel that 4 shouldn't Drake shouldn't be in 4, but they're gonna write it in a way that it makes sense for him to be there. But like
Mm.
if someone is dead or something like that, unless it's a reboot or something, like I don't know, because that's even tricky too. Because I'm a big fan of the Saints Row series, and I'm no spoil. Well, it's kind of a spoiler. In the beginning of Saints Row 3, Johnny got a main character. it says he dies. We didn't see him die, but it says he dies, right? So that's why I kind of forgave that, because you didn't see him die. It just kind of gave you the illusion he died. We don't know what happened to him until you play Saints Row 4. But I don't know, like when a game is like that, when the story is going in such a direction and you try to bring people back for random reasons, I think you're stretching it. But like Assassin's Creed doesn't do that. They pretty much like, this person's done, they're done. You know, I haven't heard anything or seen anything about Desmond coming back, so they can keep making those games forever. As far as I'm concerned, I don't care if I'm tired of it. If I'm tired of a game, I don't buy the next one until I feel like playing it again. That's just how I am. I don't really like sit back. Oh, I just hope they stop making it, because I mean, it doesn't affect me if they make it or not.
Well, you know when people like say stuff like that, they're like, "Oh, I'm so tired of EA. I'm so tired of Ubisoft." I asked them, I was like, "Do you want Ubisoft gone?" "No, I don't want Ubisoft gone. I just want them to do this, that." No, that sounds like you want them fucking gone. I mean, in a way, that's what it sounds like with a lot of people. I mean, I like to see if Ubisoft was gone. Let's see what people say then with all these fucking games we're not getting no more. Because you hate to break it to everybody, Ubisoft and EA are basically a big part of the gaming industry. Without them, we're kind of not getting many games. You know, like those are the developers that actually put out fucking games. I mean, that's basically a lot of the other ones are gone, like Acclaim and THQ. That's who we got, you know. And Ubisoft is a big part of the gaming industry, in my opinion. So is EA. They do shit games. I'm not saying they don't, but I'd rather have them here than not here. Just saying. But yeah, Assassin's Creed, I like the series. I just took a break from it last year. I didn't take a break from it because everybody said, "Oh, it's broken," whatever. I just was tired of it at that point. I just didn't want to get Unity. I'm still going to get Unity, but I'm going to pick it up when I pick up Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I'll just get them both for whatever, you know, if they're both. I'm sure by then Unity will be like $10, and Assassin's Creed Syndicate probably be like, I don't know, $30 or something. Then I'll pick it up when I have nothing else to play, you know. But for right now, I'm good. But I do like the whole the London atmosphere. I think it's cool. I like Old Dirty said that Jack the Ripper DLC looks interesting. I like Jack the Ripper a lot. I think it's cool. But I think it'd be a good year if you're not burnt out on Assassin's Creed, or if you're definitely. They said if you're getting into it, I saw one review. If you're getting into it for the first time, it's definitely a good year. One guy said that it basically took all the Assassin's Creed games and everything that was good in each one of them, put it all in a mix. So it's a good year. I just heard the ending wasn't that good. And you do get to switch upon two characters, the female and the male. And they got special abilities. And I heard if you don't update your special abilities, you could actually not end up beating certain characters. They're like overpowered if you don't upgrade them. If you just don't decide to upgrade them, you're kind of forced into upgrading them. Which don't know why nobody would want to upgrade them. I think it's cool when you do upgrades, but it is what it is. Next thing I want to talk about is Rainbow Six. You got everybody bitching about Battlefront not having a season or a single player, and the season pass and all that stuff, which Rainbow Six has a season pass. And they don't have a single player, you know, which that's a game to me, Rainbow Six without a single player. I'd have been more shocked by that than Battlefront not having a single player, but it is what it is. But basically their answer to single player is a mode called Situations. And Situations is basically like, okay, you pick your class of a character and you go invade a aircraft, and there's going to be terrorists on the aircraft, and you're going to have to do certain things. And it's basically the mode that shows you what to do in the like things you can use in the multiplayer and how to do stuff like blow entrances open and stuff like that. But you have like a goal to take out these terrorists or do this on the airplane. It's basically an objective, and that's basically their single player. What's your thoughts, King Rinpoche, of the whole, everybody bitching on Battlefront but not Rainbow Six, and the Rainbow Six Situations single player? I guess that's what we're called, single player.
I don't know that much about the single player. It sounds like some type of scenario mode where it's just like, it's not really a story behind it. They just put you in these situations. You got to get yourself out of them. Kind of like something that would be equivalent to like a optional mode or some type of, not optional, like some type of side mode in a normal game. And they're just writing it off like a single player. But I mean, I don't really care that the game don't really have a single player mode. I mean, I wasn't going to get Rainbow Six anyway, so it doesn't really bother me. Um,
But do you think it's right that people bitch about Battlefront not having a single player, but Rainbow Six, a game that we're all used to having a single player, all of a sudden don't have it at all?
I mean, people are going to bitch about what they want to bitch about. I mean, I feel this: if the developer comes out and says, "Look, this is what we're offering you. This is the product we made," I think that most people, I mean, if everybody thought like me, I would just say, I don't want what you're offering, I don't buy it. Or I do want what you're offering, I do buy it whenever I get the time to do that. That's just how I look at it. I don't really sit back and be like, oh God, like no, like I'm a big fan of Tony Hawk, and from what I'm hearing, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 is garbage. I mean, it's just garbage then. I'll play the old ones. It's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's a series I really care about. I like Battlefront, but it's not that great of a series that's it's not that important to me. And neither is Rainbow Six. So if a series that's really important to me and they just dropped a shitter, and I don't really care if the other games, missing stuff or whatever, because the old ones had the single player. Because I think Rainbow Six, they said that they were not going to give you. The thing they said was multiplayer focus, right? From what I remember. That's what I
Well,
was.
what happened, how they did this, they did it really slick. They showed what the multiplayer was, but they never talked about the single player until close to release, which was like a couple weeks ago, and then all of a sudden they say, hey, there's no single player.
So they never said it was one, right?
Well, people were just assuming there was because there's always been a single player.
That's when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me.
Well, see, I don't have my problem with Rainbow Six is not that to me I'm getting the Xbox One version, which is going to have Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2 that I've never played. So I got two single player campaigns right there. But I never had a problem with it not having a single player. I was interested in online, but my problem was the servers were awful. And I was just about to cancel my pre-order. I was at Best Buy picking up the Halo 5 limited edition controller, and I switched my Star Wars over to Xbox. And I was just about. I said, "Hey man, I'm gonna cancel that pre-order for the Gold edition of Rainbow Six." And then we started talking. The dude I usually talk at Best Buy about games with, and he said it was running fine. The last couple days it was on the beta. I played the first couple days. So he lives in the same area. He's a pretty cool dude. I take his word for some things. And I was really interested in that game, and I liked what I played, but the servers were really bad. So if the servers are shit when I do get the game, I'll just return it or trade it in and get something else. But I am interested in Rainbow Six. I do like it, but the servers were one thing that was bothering me. But I get Vegas 1 and 2. I think it's a good deal. But I never had a problem with that not having a single player. I think it sucks, but I don't think it's like a deal breaker. What's your thoughts, Ozzy, on Rainbow Six? This new mode situations that's supposedly supposed to be the single player, and people bitched about Battlefront not having single player, but Rainbow Six doesn't have one, and obviously I guess that's okay.
Well, people should be going off and arms about Rainbow Six and Battlefront, I mean, Battlefront is mostly a multiplayer type of game. Well, as Rainbow Six, it had a single-player campaign, the first two, right? So,
Yeah, I think all of them had. I used to play Rainbow Six, back in the day. Last one I played was on the Dreamcast. I didn't get to play Vegas 1 and 2, so I'm actually really happy that they're, Xbox One versions giving you both of them games. So, but yeah, your answer to your question, from what I know, it always had a single player.
yeah. Well, it's your money, so you have the right to do whatever you want with it.
Okay. All right. Are you interested in the game, Ozzy, in Rainbow Six, or?
I was, but I spent like $500 on my Xbox One, so I have to pick and choose.
Okay. All right. So you're not opposed by the game, though. It's up maybe down the road. You might pick it up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What about Old Dirty? What's your thoughts on Rainbow Six's mode situations as a single player and people bitched about Battlefront, but they didn't bitch about Rainbow Six not having a single player.
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't. Everybody wasn't going off on no story, no campaign for Rainbow, because I was actually looking forward, to the story because I
Yeah,
actually
but
Rainbow 1 and 2, the campaign. I played a little bit of, I think, Rainbow 2 online, which was pretty cool. But just to hear that this one didn't have a story, I'm like, okay. So I was still on the fence about it. I didn't cancel my pre-order, but since you said they got this, what you say, situation, I guess it's okay. I still got my pre-order. I still want the game. I did enjoy it when I did, get into a match. So at least I get two campaigns with Rainbow 1 and 2 Vegas. So
That's the way I look at it too. I never played them, so for people that have played them, that sucks. But I think it's a good deal, and I get to play them too.
And remember, for all those that's listed, that's the Xbox version.
Yeah, it's the Xbox version. PlayStation, they're not doing that. So, I mean, that's another thing that Xbox is doing. They're giving you games, with a lot of these third-party games you're getting, like with Just Cause 3, you're getting Just Cause 2. With Rainbow Six, you're getting Vegas 1 and 2.
Fallout 4.
Another one. Huh?
I was saying, like, I'm hearing certain people say, like, they think that's up to them. They think that's irrelevant or whatever, but I wouldn't just rub that off. Like, if you go buy Fallout on, for the Xbox One, you get Fallout 3 on
Mhm.
Xbox One as well, or through backwards compatibility. If you buy Fallout 4 on Xbox One, I think that is a big deal, especially if you never played Fallout 3 or you just want, another copy. It's the
Yeah.
principle that you're getting more than
yep,
what you would normally get, regardless. It's a better deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
right. Because you got to look at it. What if this person had both consoles? You would think they'd get it for the Xbox One because they're getting Fallout 3 to go with it. Even if they never played Fallout 3 and they were just interested in Fallout 4, you still getting the third one to check out down the line and see how that played and kind of compare it. You know what I'm saying? You might enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Even if it is from last generation. But like Grim said, you're getting something extra,
A better deal. Right.
which is good.
Yep. You
Yeah.
get even with Fallout 4, you're getting Fallout 3. So it's a good deal. I'm sorry. I like free shit, so I can't go wrong with that.
I mean, even with Rainbow, I was surprised that they was actually giving us Rainbow Vegas 1 and 2. I was surprised they was doing that. And I was like, big kudos. Like, I haven't played those games since what they came out in like 2007.
Nobody remembers.
So that was the last time I played them. So I mean, to play through it again, yeah, I love to. And you giving it to me free? Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, it's not a bad deal. I mean, that's just the way it is. I think it's a great deal. Super Mario 1999 Pokemon Nerd 2000. I added you on Google Plus. So I'll send you an invite if you want to jump in. I'm doing the podcast just a little bit longer. I have like 2 more topics, but you're more than welcome to jump in if you want. Just saying. But yeah, let's move on to probably this is maybe the last final topic. Sony, I guess, finally confirms it has stopped first-party beta development. Like, it's confirmed. It's over. Like, that's one of the other news that came out. What's your thoughts, King Grimpachi?
This is not a surprise as a Vita owner. We have been waiting for this day. We're not. I mean, not waiting in a good way. We just been waiting. Like, we already kind of like was assuming this, but it was kind of like if we were wrong, that's a good thing. I mean, if we were right, we already kind of knew that was the route. But I don't know if it's 100% because Sony does put out smaller titles, right? Like they put out Helldivers. That's a Sony game that came to Vita. They put out which actually this game is pretty good if you ever played it. It's called Counter Spy. That's like an indie type game, but that's Sony's IP. that's that came to Vita as well. I think they might still do those though. Like I don't think they're gonna make a game just for the Vita. No, I don't think they're gonna do that. But like something like that, I think those might still come. But who knows? But it's nothing. It's nothing unexpected. This is
All
something
right.
we already knew was gonna go down.
Okay. What's your thoughts, Old Dirty, on Sony confirming that it has stopped first-party Vita development?
I thought they stopped like a couple of years ago.
It wasn't confirmed. Now it's confirmed. It's actually written in stone.
Well, I mean, yeah, we all seen it coming. It's like Sony they attend more to their console than they do their handheld. They usually put their handheld out there and kind of let third party take care of it. Like a deadbeat. But I mean, it's a cool nice handheld, but it's just a shame, Sony doesn't keep up with their handheld like they do with their home console.
Yeah. Well, it's you can't really say that because if you look at the Japan, look how popular it is over there.
Yeah, but you know what? They play different games than we do. Like if you look at the games that they play, you be like, what the hell is that? Like we don't play that. Japan gaming is totally different from ours, from what we do. You know, to me, it seems like Japan like to have fun. I don't understand their games, but it's fun to them. So it's only a few games from North America that they like playing, but basically it's the games they like to play, and most of them are probably RPG. Is that correct, Grim?
Yeah, they play RPGs, these games. Those games come to the Vita in America as well, mostly through digital only releases. And like when it comes to the Vita in Japan, mostly that's third party holding that down. So Sony's probably just like, where we make our most money on the Vita is Japan. So might as well just stop, making games for it because it seems like our games don't really matter that much. So
Okay, what's your thoughts, Ozzy, on Sony confirming the first party is over for the Vita?
It's disappointing because I had a Vita. I bought it day one. And the only game I ever bought was Uncharted Golden Abyss.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Did you like it? Now, is it a good title or?
Yeah, it was good for what it was, It had the same type of graphics as the PSP, and it's still good as an Uncharted game, I had fun with it, but after that, I didn't buy anything else with it, and I traded in.
Okay, so you didn't find it to be a bad console. It's just Sony didn't support it with with first party. So you felt that's why you pretty much got rid of it.
Yeah, and I had a PSP. I thought I was gonna get like games like Ghost of Sparta or Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker or Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories or Vice City Stories on the PSP.
Oh,
But
okay. So basically, it just wasn't supported. Like you didn't think it was a bad console, but it just wasn't a bad handheld, but it wasn't supported. So that's why you parted ways with it.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
I can respect that. Is that all you have to say?
Yep.
Okay. Basically, with me, the Vita, I actually been thinking about getting one for off-screen play. I was looking at one yesterday. I would just pick the used one up. That's what I was gonna probably do is like one for 139, but that one didn't come with a memory stick, I don't think. So I'm just gonna wait and probably find one with a memory stick used and get it eventually. 'Cause I don't think Sony's gonna drop support on it like totally. I just think the first party's confirmed, but I think they're gonna definitely have I think the Vita will be around the whole time of the PS4. I think to do off-screen play and all remote play, whatever the hell it's called, stuff like that. And that's mainly I want it for. And there's a couple first-party games I want to play on it, like the Uncharted, and I heard the Killzone was good on that one actually. So That's basically what I want to get it for. But they are making new colors. There's a new Vita model coming out, so it's not totally in the grave yet, just with first party. But yeah, Pokemon Nerd, I sent you an invite. I really ain't got much more to talk about. So Pokemon Nerd, if you want to join next time, if I did add you on Google Plus, you just gotta accept the invite. But basically that's all I got. What do you guys, are any of you hyped for Halo 5 Tuesday?
I
I
am,
am.
but I ain't got no Xbox. I ain't got no Xbox.
Great
But
box.
Yeah, I'm really
you guys
excited.
think it's gonna be good, or do you guys like Icy Rhythm says the ending wasn't that bad? I didn't hear the ending. He said he saw it though. He actually saw it by accident.
Well, I mean,
How you see an
I,
ending by accident? That means
I
you have
don't,
to
I
sit there
don't.
and watch the whole damn thing.
Well, I don't know.
As
You
long
know,
as it's fun, it's fun, you know.
like Halo, I haven't played a bad Halo. You know, so I'm pretty sure Halo 5. Like I'm playing through Halo 4 right now on my 360. So Halo 5 will more than likely be good. I mean, I think that Halo 5 may be the best game to come out this year, potentially. Who knows? If not the best, one of the best.
For a
How,
shooter.
how's it going,
Not just as a whole, not just as a shooter. Spirit.
Okay.
Pokemon Nerd slash Mario 2000? I hope I'm saying your name right. Big long subscriber fan of mine. I appreciate all your support. How's it going, buddy?
It's going good. It's called Mario.
Oh, Mario. I just had it wrote down. I'm just tired, man. The past 2 days I've gotten like, I don't know, 3 hours sleep here, I'm okay now, but I'm still just kind of tired. So I know your name, I just couldn't think of it off the top of my head. I didn't say it correctly.
Good.
How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Okay.
Understood.
Anything to add on any of this? Did you hear anything you'd want to talk about that we have talked about in the podcast? Like anything you have anything to add or?
Yes. What do you think of a Call of Duty Ancient Warfare, where they use bows and arrows and
I think that'd be a good idea.
like it should be set back in the cowboy and Indian days?
Oh, so you're talking about totally change Call of Duty instead of going the direction that they're going, go maybe with the Cowboys and Indians or Ancient Warfare. That does actually sound pretty cool. That would be interesting. What do you think, Old Dirty, on that?
I mean, I would have to see it. I mean, I'm trying to picture it, a fast-paced Call of Duty with like bow and arrow, going back into like Cowboys and Indy. I'm trying to picture it and how it can stay a fast-paced shooter. It could, but I'm having a hard time like picturing it.
Just imagine.
What'd you say?
Oh, just imagine using arrows and having to use a lot more strategy.
Yeah, you definitely have to use more strategy because those guns aren't shooting like a machine gun. So it'd be a lot different. But that'd be good. I do think that'd be better. Definitely better in the direction of the future all the time. I'd like to go back to the past somewhat. I think it's a good idea. What about you, Grimpachi? Do you think they need to maybe change Call of Duty to like Ancient Warfare or Cowboys and Indians?
I think the Cowboys and Indians sound cool. Ancient. I mean, at that point, then I don't know because there's no guns. I would actually like to see Call of Duty go back to. I mean, I like the direction Call of Duty's going in, so I don't really have a problem with it. But it would be cool if they went back maybe one more time to their roots because Call of Duty was kind of like it was a game you could learn about history, So you don't do that. They don't do that anymore. I do like the stories, especially the Black Ops series story. So
Yep.
I mean, I do like the new writing, but I would like to learn more about I can go read a book obviously, but that's boring. Let's put it in a video game. Learn about World War II and stuff like that, like the old ones were. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
they could do it with modern. I mean, they already done it with Modern Warfare, but I'm saying like Modern Warfare, that was like a written story. They could like put it in a modern setting, but put real war battles. I don't know if they'll be able to legally do that. I don't know anything about all that, but I'm pretty sure that's been documented somewhere where they could like talk about recent wars and stuff like that. That'd be cool, and it'd be an actual like kind of like the old ones were, where you learned about something instead of just playing the game.
Yeah,
I
I
would,
do agree.
I would like to see them actually go back to like maybe World War One or Vietnam. I would like to fight in the jungles of Vietnam.
Hold on 1 second, guys. I gotta take a piss. Just keep talking.
I think World at War may have was World at War Vietnam. I think that one was
World
Vietnam.
War II. People have been asking for that. Some of them.
World at War was actually good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they actually ambushed you from trees and tall grass. It was crazy.
Flamethrowers. That was all cool back then. 2008. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, didn't they have? Weren't you in Vietnam in Black Ops?
Yeah, that was in Vietnam too, but like that story was fictional. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
oh yeah, I like the story. I was just playing Black Ops 2 earlier.
You know what? I actually like the story of Ghost. Like, I want to know what happened to his brother at the end.
So you want those two?
Remember when I forgot his name? He drug your brother off. He shot you, and then
You took him away?
his brother,
Yeah.
he was pulling him off the beach. And he
I didn't
said,
even get through that campaign. Like, I don't remember.
I did.
I
I guess
don't
not
know.
what.
It was actually that campaign was actually good. The story where it was written, I was like, I want to see what's going to happen with Ghost 2, but the way people talk about Ghost, they might not make a sequel to it.
Yeah. Too bad.
They might not finish the story.
Well, I'm not picking up Ghost 2 if it happens. I did not like it.
Man, playing this Halo.
Yeah, that's all I'm waiting for now is Halo 5. Pick that up and pick up Tomb Raider, the Rainbow, and I want to go back and pick up Mario Maker and Yoshi.
I'm not getting Tomb Raider. I'm gonna wait a year. It's gonna be all on the disc, the DLC. I think that's a smart move for me. To wait.
Wait.
You're
Yeah,
waiting.
me.
Yeah, Ozzy said he was waiting a year for You're gonna get the complete edition with the PS4, right?
Yes.
What's going to be?
Yes.
I don't blame you on that.
Wait a minute. What's going to be on the complete edition?
Well, he's just meaning by the time it comes out for the PS4, that's probably when all the DLC is going to be out.
Oh, okay.
So, and it's most likely true. You're going to see the Tomb Raider on the PS4 a year from now have all the DLC, so I could see that.
You know what? How was the multiplayer on the definitive version? I never heard anybody really talk about the multiplayer.
It wasn't any good. I'm just in my opinion. It was like it gave me the feel of like an Uncharted type multiplayer, but very like nothing there.
Oh,
It was like Uncharted, but heavily unbalanced. It wasn't fair.
I remember shooting someone in the head like 9 times and did not die.
Yeah, and it was actually, it looked good. Like the multiplayer looked good, like graphic wise, but it was just dull as hell, and it was unbalanced. Like Grimpachi said, it was unbalanced. I just thought it as a like a cheaper version of Uncharted, basically. But yeah, anything else to add?
One thing. One. After the PlayStation 3, I decided to not buy any more, handhelds. I'm stuck, I'm no longer, a handheld player. I'm mostly a console type of player now.
Uh-huh.
That's all.
Oh, okay. So you're not big into handhelds no more. You like consoles.
Yeah.
I'll sit here and say this. I was never big into handhelds. The only one I ever got into was the Game Gear. I like the Sega Game Gear, and I had the PS Vita. When I got the PS, I've said this on a lot of podcasts. When I got the PS Vita, my ex-girlfriend, she bought me the PS Vita, and I just ended up giving it to my brother's kids at the time because I had issues with the loading time. The loading time was awful on that thing.
Yeah.
And then they wanted a lot of money for the movies on it. The movies were really expensive.
Yeah, That was ridiculous, man. They wanted like $30. I'm like, man, you serious?
Yeah, the movies were expensive, and the loading times were god awful on that thing. But I am interested in the Vita. I do want to get the Vita, but I'm not big on handhelds. The 3DS looks cool, but you definitely have to be a Nintendo for 3DS because they. But I just I'm not saying it's out of the question, but eventually, the thing I don't like that's going on with the 3DS, like with the NX, you basically you don't know, like, when they drop this new handheld, is that the end of the 3DS? Is it over? Is that stop doing shit with that?
Nah, I don't think so. I don't even think whatever they saying with this handheld that's going to be supposedly with the NX, I don't think that's taking the place of the 3DS.
I mean, they just made a new 3DS, didn't they? Like,
yeah,
isn't a 3DS then a new 3DS where it only play like that has games specifically for that 3DS?
Yeah, but it's only like a couple. It's not like a big handful. But
yeah, but I'm saying it just started. So why are they going to drop an NX handheld? Like, that don't make much sense.
I guess they want people to play their games on the go, which I don't think is. I just don't do it. I don't play console games on the go. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Like, if it's a console game, I want to play it on the TV. You know what I'm saying? If it's a game that's made for the handheld, then yeah, I have no choice but to play, like, you know what I'm saying, God of War, Chain of Olympus. I have no choice because it's not on the console. But if that game was on the console, I don't want to play it on the go. I want to play it on my big screen.
I think it's cool playing console games on the go. See, that was my problem with handheld. I didn't like handheld games, really. I liked the console games. I thought it was cool. I was a different person. I like console. That's why the Vita is appealing to me. Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people like you, that find that interesting. But to me, it really don't. I mean, just let me play it on the big screen, and I'll be happy. Huh. If they made a game for the handheld, I have no choice but to play it on the handheld, so it's okay. But saying like, hey, you can play, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 on, no, I want to play it on my big screen.
Well,
unless you made it specifically for the handheld, then yeah, I'll play it.
But that's what the NX rumors are indicating, that you're going to have console games in your hand, and nobody wanted that with the Vita.
It's really wishy-washy because the Nintendo fans say they don't like the Vita because it's console games in your hand. But see, they're full of shit because at the same time they didn't complain that Xenoblade was coming to the 3DS. That's a console. That's a $300 RPG.
Yes, I'm on Google Hangout.
You know what I'm saying? So they say what they want to say. They'll play whatever they'll play. They'll play whatever's offered to them. Because I say 3D Land, which came before 3D World, 3D Land was equivalent to a console Mario game. But it was in the handheld. Resident Evil Revelations, that was a console Resident Evil game. Just in your hands. But I mean, I always thought that was cool. Like a console game in the palm of your hands, that sounds interesting.
That was what the appeal with, like, when I first saw the Vita, I thought that was extraordinary, seeing their version of the Uncharted on a handheld. I was like, wow, but when I saw that price, I was like, holy shit. And I thought you had to have an AT&T contract. I was like, out of the question. I was like, nope. That's how the guy at GameStop explained it to me, but I thought it was cool. But now you got the NX rumors indicating that it's going to be doing a handheld that's mixed with a console. And I was like, how's that going to work? Nobody wants that, supposedly. So, what's your thoughts on that, Pokemon?
Super Mario 1999, Pokemon Nerd 2000.
Super Mario, yeah, what's your thoughts on that, buddy?
Anyways, my thoughts on it is console games on the go is awesome. Like, I've always wanted to have, as a kid, the GameCube, and I wanted to have a portable GameCube. Like, that's what I wanted as a kid, so that sounds awesome.
Okay, so you like that. Okay.
Yes.
So if the NX was to come out with console graphics on a handheld, that you'd be cool with that.
Oh, I'd be blown away.
Oh, okay. All right. Anybody else on this topic, or?
So that means with that happening, then the NX must don't have a disk drive, because how can you play a disc on a handheld? So
Well,
unless they, I don't know, maybe transfer it. I don't know, but to me it kind of sounds like it might not be an optical drive to use a disc if I could take it on the go with me.
This is what I'm thinking when it comes to the NX potentially, if it doesn't have a disk drive, right?
gonna be
I think all the NX is like is a Wii U, right? It's a Wii U, maybe a little bit more powerful, and the gamepad is mobile. And instead of having disc, there's going to be a cartridge slot on the gamepad itself, and then you can walk around with it. And then when you want to play it on your TV, it just projects the image from the gamepad to the TV.
Now, that could be a good. I mean, that could be it. I think it's going to be digital. That's just me. I didn't. The only reason I didn't think it was going to happen at first is I didn't see Nintendo going that route first. But they might be the first ones to do it. Who knows? But I do agree it could be with Grimpachi being a cartridge, but I think I'm going to go with the digital. That's just me. But I could see them doing what Grimpachi's saying too. But I definitely. It's going to be one or the other. It's not going to be. There's no way they could do that on a disc, but they did say there's going to. One of the rumors was indicating that there was no optical drive, so,
Yeah.
So, but that's the end of this podcast. I appreciate.
Hold on, Dave. I thought I was supposed to be getting interrogated.
Interrogate. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Grimpachi. Now, I guess all these games. Well, last night on my stream we were talking. It was Icy Rhythms who failed to listen. Basically, I said in my podcast that I think that Grimpachi, basically, part of me thinks that Grimpachi just pretty much just any of the popular games out there that most people like, he just basically nitpicks the game and finds things wrong with them just to get people going. Then another part of me actually believes he just probably don't like them games. But before the podcast, he actually said he didn't like GoldenEye, and I find it on the N64, and I find it really hard that somebody does not like a game like that. Even when he said he didn't like Jet Moto 2, which I was blown away by that too. But I wasn't surprised by. I was surprised by it, but at the same time, I'm not. Because that's like I'm saying, part of me thinks he's just trolling, and then the other part maybe just thinks he don't like the games that most people like. Why is it that you do not like GoldenEye? Please explain.
Like I said in my video, the controls, even for its time, comparing it to other shooters. When I was growing up in my household, the only first-person shooters when I was young that we played mostly was GoldenEye and Doom. And coming from Doom, mostly playing Doom the most, because when I was, the computer was not the machine that, my cousins and everybody was getting on. So because I was one of the younger ones, I would go to the available gaming machine, which would be the PC. I played Sonic 3 mostly on the PC compared to playing on the Genesis, and I played it Doom on the PC. So when I did play 007, mostly multiplayer, we did play the single player. This is when you used to pass the controller around between everybody. I didn't enjoy it. I felt it didn't control very good, and that was my biggest gripe. And even going back playing it for my review, it doesn't control very good. So that's really where it comes from. Visually, at that time, it looked good. Not taking anything away from the visuals or what it was doing as a technical standpoint, but I felt it didn't control very well, and that's why I didn't like it. The same thing with Jet Moto 2. It didn't control very well. Visually, the map design, like my favorite map in Jet Moto, even though I can't stay on the track, is the one when you're in heaven and you drop to hell, then you fly back up to heaven. That's cool. And the concept of Jet Moto is cool. You got this grappling hook that you're supposed to be able to whip around corners, but it don't work. You know what I'm saying? That's why I didn't really like those games. They don't control very well. Even for the time, there were racing games and shooters that played better.
Oh, okay.
Not
So
comparing it to games nowadays. That would be silly to do.
no, but I'm saying most people, what I think in my eyes, a lot of people that are gaming nowadays, if you were to look at games that are out nowadays, like Battlefield 4, Destiny, and then you go back and look at games back in the day, or even play games, back in the day on a retro console, it's a big difference from playing them nowadays to what we got now and playing it for the first time nowadays to back then to what we had back then and the game first coming out and that being the big thing at the time. GoldenEye now compared to what we got now from back then, it's a big difference. I could see where people could play GoldenEye nowadays and be like, oh, this is shitty. But when GoldenEye was what you had back then and that came out, that was looking nice on the N64. I played that game to fucking death, especially the multiplayer. That was the first time I got into, really playing like multiplayer like that, like with first-person shooters. I think that's a game that really was a thing for its time. It was a big thing for its time. It started. It's like I can't think of the word right now, but it's definitely for its time was a big thing.
Innovative.
It was very back then.
Yeah. What's your thoughts, Ozzy? Do you agree with Grimpachi that GoldenEye? Do you see what he's saying with GoldenEye, or was GoldenEye a big game for you, or no?
Yes, for its time, but now it's not. If I go back now, will I feel the same way when I was a kid? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So you do understand what I'm saying? For its time, it was good, but nowadays, like, I think a lot of gamers nowadays, like, I was watching this channel, it was actually having a bunch of teenagers play games like Contra, and they were all on a team, like, they were all in separated teams and trying to score the most points, and it was basically all people that never played Contra before, and they didn't understand it, and it was hard for them, and they didn't like it, or some of them liked it. And they were like introducing it to new age gamers, and they weren't feeling it. But back in the day when Contra first came out, that was like it was awesome, But that's what we had. It was like the games coming out nowadays, like Destiny. That's cool to a lot of people nowadays. But like games like like GoldenEye when that first came out, that was like Destiny back then, But what do you think? Oh, you got more to say?
I was just gonna say this. So what I was saying is like, for its time, like when I played it back in those days, I didn't like it then. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't like, it was like I said in the comments to a lot of people, the game was good for one reason. It was a game that we all could sit down, especially for our parents, to shut up. You put GoldenEye in, everybody would get around and try to play, even if you didn't really like it like that. I was never into Madden either, but I would play with my brothers, my dad, my cousins, because that was just something fun to do, to hang around your family and spend time together. So GoldenEye was good for that reason, but if I had the opportunity, which I did, to just play a game by myself, I wouldn't play GoldenEye when I was a kid, because that wasn't a game I particularly liked. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Yeah, Video Game Lover says that video you did was unbearable.
That's cool.
But I think, like I said, part of me thinks that you could be trolling. Like, I expect stuff like this. If I play a game tomorrow and it's real good, I could tell you, hey, this game was great. And you're like, nah, I didn't like the controls. The setting wasn't that great. They could have done a little better with this, that. I expect it now. But you may just honestly feel like that. But there is a lot of people that think you are trolling. Now I get when they say, I didn't understand at first. Now I understand what they're getting at.
I mean, people think I'm trolling about games. Like, first, people will say, well, I didn't. How could I know? I was a kid in that time, and I'm like, so like what? Like, what I'm saying? Like, people think that games were played only in the year they came out. GoldenEye came out in '97. I was born. I think it's '97 or '98. I was born in '95. I was playing GoldenEye. We were playing GoldenEye till like 2002. GoldenEye was a game that played for a long time, even when the PS2 was out. People were still playing GoldenEye, playing their 64s. So what I'm saying, like Mario 64. I'll say that game to me is timeless, but I'm not going to lie and sit here and say that control-wise, compared to other Mario games, yeah, the controls have improved, but those controls aren't bad. They weren't bad to me then, they're not bad to me now. Just like I got a review coming up for one of my favorite games, it's the Tony Hawk games. And I even said in the video, I haven't uploaded yet though, that Tony Hawk 1, I'm used to how it plays, but to be fair, this game doesn't play that well. It played well for the time, but even like going for Tony Hawk 1 on PS1 and Tony Hawk 2 on PS1,
Oh,
and the controls improved so drastically. That game felt outdated when the second game came out. Get what I'm saying? Which
oh,
wasn't that long after.
yeah. Video game lover wasn't talking about your video. He was talking about the Contra video. I guess he saw the Contra video. I thought he meant your video. It's the Contra video. Yeah, it's some channel where all these kids get on they pick an old game from the past and they put all these new age gamers on it and they get them to play it and they don't really. Some of them are good at it, but they play it for the first time. They don't know what it is. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, Grimpachi. But yeah, I just what does One White Kong says? One White Kong says, Grim, you can't compare it. You were 2 months old when it dropped. Oh man. But yeah, I just think nowadays, like with people, like a lot of people nowadays that just are big into gaming, like a lot of people that are teenagers, wherever, if they were to play NES games or certain games that a lot of people thought were great and for their time, they don't see it because they're playing these new games that do all types of other kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's on a different level.
Yeah, I would say I grew up in the time because I grew up I was born in '95, but I grew up in the early 2000s, and that was when it was still people were still playing. Like, we weren't playing Atari, but we were playing at least NES and upwards still. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I can go back and play older games and have an appreciation and still be good at them, because I was still, first of all, we weren't made of money, and we were playing those consoles because that's pretty much what we had, even though there was new stuff out. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm used to them, and that's why I played them a lot. But I will say this though, Dave. Let's be 100% honest. If I said I liked those games, would anyone say I was trolling or bring up my age?
No, but I noticed this with a game, like if it's a game that usually everybody that it's hard, like there are some games that most people in the world like Call of Duty. There's a majority of the world that likes Call of Duty, but then there's a lot of other games like that, like GoldenEye, but it just seems to me like a lot of those games, certain big games, you always, like a lot of games that I would think that I see most people like, you totally dislike, or you find not totally dislike it, but I can almost count on you finding something wrong with it.
we got to run down these games. They like like I said, like
GoldenEye. There's two of them. That's the two right there. That's two of them.
Just two out of the hundreds and hundreds of games.
No, but I'm just saying a majority of popular games. I've always like Shadow of Mordor. I remember when I mentioned that when we were talking about that. You're like,
I didn't dislike Shadow of Mordor. I just felt it was mediocre. Which that just means it's average. It's just okay. It's nothing to talk about though.
But I'm just saying you do have, like, even if you don't totally hate the game, I can almost count you saying something negative about it, But it's, to be fair, I think we could nitpick any game. I could nitpick Destiny, Uncharted, NBA 2K, the list goes on. But I'm just saying, like, with the whole thing with you, I can almost count on, if I like a game, it's very rare you say, oh, like, we did agree on Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain. I thought that it was a 7, and I really do stand by that. The game's a 7. And at first, when you said that, I thought you were crazy, because you beat the game a lot sooner than I did. But once I finished the game, I do agree. But games like Jet Moto and GoldenEye, I cannot agree. No. Especially GoldenEye. Maybe Jet Moto, I can see a lot of stuff you're saying, but GoldenEye, I just thought that game made an impact on the gaming industry. I thought it was a good thing, and I'm sure a lot of others would think that too.
Well, GoldenEye actually got me into first-person shooters. GoldenEye,
revolutionary. That's the word I was wanting to say.
And it actually got me into multiplayer first-person shooter. So, I mean, when I seen the video that Grim did, I wasn't like upset, like, oh, he don't know what he talking about, he was too young. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if he didn't like it then, he actually playing it now, he say he still don't like it. So, I mean,
yeah, like I got a video. I didn't mean to cut you off, Dirty. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, because okay, you played it when you was younger. Some people were like, oh, well, you was just too young to understand, or or to control the game. But you actually went back and played it, and you could have been like, you know what? Yeah, maybe I was a bit too young, but I'm enjoying it now. But you didn't in the video. You're like, I'm still not really enjoying it. It's an okay game, but I'm not enjoying it like, other people say the game is. So I wasn't upset. I was like, okay, he just don't like it.
And
Time. Did you like that?
That's one of the best games ever made.
Oh, okay. See.
What game is that?
Ocarina of Time.
Oh, okay. You know what, Grim? I don't know if you're going to make a video on this, but I would like to see you do a video on your thoughts on Turok 2 on the
I
N64.
never played Turok, so it would be brand new to me.
Oh, okay.
Like what is it? I haven't done the review yet, but I was playing this mostly today.
Oh, okay. I know one, and you failed to listen to say it. Now this one I totally disagree with you. The Last of Us.
What about The Last of Us?
Please tell everybody your thoughts on The Last of Us.
The Last of Us is a solid 6 out of 10.
And why is that?
Why is that? Because The Last of Us was a game. I bought The Last of Us for my PS3, right? My bad. Let me rewind that. I bought a PS3 for The Last of Us, right? I got the PS3, the God of War bundle, and got Last of Us. I pop it in, it froze my PS3 twice. So already we on to a bad start. Then when it worked and I was playing it, The Last of Us was just one of those games that it did a very good job in its plot because it was so depressing. I didn't really want to play it. It kind of turned me off from playing it because it was that type of game. But I beat it, and I was just like, this is one of those games that, it's good, but it's one of those things. Once I'm done, I'm done. I don't think I'm playing it ever again. And then the multiplayer was not.
Now you said the multiplayer. Not trying to cut you off. The multiplayer was unbalanced. You said.
Yes, I was playing. Remember, I was on PS3. I don't know if they fixed it. So.
Mhm. What's your thoughts on that, Old Dirty? Do you agree? Is he there? Old Dirty, you there?
Hello.
Okay. Anybody else in here that played The Last of Us? I know Old Dirty for sure played The Last of Us. So I was trying. What about you, Ozzy? Did you play it?
Yeah, I did. I really liked it for what it was. Yeah, it wasn't a depressing story, but you feel for the characters. You wanted to see if they live or not.
Mhm. So did you find it interesting, and did you find maybe the multiplayer unbalanced?
Nah, I didn't find it unbalanced. Like I said, had fun with it.
Oh, okay. See, I feel that The Last of Us, for me, I mean, I just hate to say it because a lot of people really love that game. I'm not just jumping on the bandwagon. That was one game for me that I actually got sucked into and played it like, as soon as I started playing it, I was glued to it. And the multiplayer to me was actually probably one of the most balanced multiplayers out there right now, in my opinion. So that's where, I just thought that was funny. And what else did fail to listen say?
But see, what's funny? I'm reading his comments, and me and him talk so much that he's like heavily misquoting me. He keeps saying, I keep saying everything's a 6 out of 10, but he knows my 6 out of 10 is not the industry 6 out of 10. A 6 in the industry is like that game is like shit or something. Like for me, 5. If it's out of 10, right? 5 is in the middle. 5 means it's like mediocre. It's average. A 6 means
okay.
It's okay. Okay or good or whatever. A 7 may be somewhat higher than good. 8, you're getting around the, I don't know, great. Then 9, excellent. 10 is damn near perfect. So my 6 is not trash like everybody else would put a 6 equal in trash, and he knows that. But Red Dead Redemption, no, that's something different. That's not a 6. That's a solid 4.
Did you like Red Dead Redemption? I couldn't hear you.
Red Dead was a solid 4 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
Solid 4 out of 10. But you gotta remember, I played on. I always tell people this. I played on PS3 and I had the digital copy, and that could have went into the reason why, because the game will always freeze and lock up my PlayStation 3. When a game does that consistently, I'm not going to like it. It's fucking up my hardware.
Well, they did say, to be fair, the PS3 version of Last of Us, which I didn't have happen to me, that it was overheating PS3s. the game was pretty much pushing the power of the PS3 to the max.
Tell Blacktooth Haze is a -1 out of 10. That game is garbage.
Oh, Hay was garbage.
Haze is trash. It doesn't even get on the scale.
What about Alan Wake?
Oh, I honestly, I never could finish Alan Wake. I enjoy the concept of it, but I never could finish the game, and for that, I guess it's just kind of mediocre. I for some reason I can never get myself to complete the game.
What are some of your top 10 games? Give me at least 5 of them of all time. No, yeah, 5 top games.
All time, San Andreas, Ocarina of Time, GTA 3. I mean, I'm not going to name all the GTAs. That'd be unfair. San Andreas, Ocarina of Time, the NBA Street Series games. I loved all those games. The Def Jam games. Pretty much any Mario. And I really enjoyed the Burnout games.
Oh, okay.
So those would be some of my top games.
I was just having, and you said Tony Hawk was one too. I think.
Tony Hawk will also be there. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just was curious what you'd say. I was expecting something else, but you shocked me on that one right there. So
I mean, a lot of people. Well, I wouldn't say a lot. It's a very small group of people that know me think that I'm like I look at it this way, right? It's not hard to tell when someone's trolling, right? But if you have to ask yourself, well, is Grim trolling or is he just being honest? Then that's, I think personally, I think some people want me to like what they like and dislike what they dislike. I just think that way.
I could respect that. That is true. I mean, one thing I had to learn from YouTube. When I came into YouTube and before I started making videos and just comment in the comment section, I did that for a year before I started making videos. I always thought everybody was gonna like what I liked. You know, I thought everybody loved this game or everybody. You got to realize not everybody's gonna like the games you like. You know, that's basically what it boils down to. But it's like the car industry. There's an ass for every seat, they say when they're selling them. I mean, I always hung around with I worked at a lot of dealerships growing up. My dad was a car mechanic, so I met a lot of the salesmen. We always go out and drink and stuff. And one of them used to say there's an ass for every seat. You know, it's just a thing, and it's true. You know. But in video games, somebody's going to like a game, somebody's not. But there's always going to be somebody that likes that game, even if it's a shit game, you know. Like, a lot of people hate Resident Evil. I know you don't like to talk about this game, but I loved Resident Evil 6. I actually enjoyed it, but I liked the whole series. It's very rare for me not to like a Resident Evil game. So, of the main series, I've liked every game, and I enjoyed 6 a lot. You know, probably more than I enjoyed 5.
Six was a really good game. I was very surprised, about that game because I heard it was bad, and then when I got around to getting it on 360, I really enjoyed it. I bought it again on PC. I got to go through it again.
You got to play the game with 4 times, 4 different campaigns in it.
4 different, and then you could play it as the other character, and they had like other guns that you wouldn't get if you were one character. So you have reasons to play.
I will say it's not as I never found any of the Resident Evil games to be scary, but I will say it's not as scary as the other Resident Evils, which I didn't find them scary either. But I just liked the series a lot, and I thought 6 was one of the better. I liked it. I'm sorry, and then I hear people bashing that game left and right like it was the worst thing ever. Like, why did the gaming industry? Why did Capcom ever even think of releasing that game? And I thought it was a good game, you know. But if I'd have listened to everybody, I'd have never picked that game up.
Yeah, I just feel like I told you earlier, like, if I did like certain games that everybody seems to like I'm not just disliking them to dislike them, but I guarantee, especially with the older titles, if I like Jet Moto, or if I like games that kind of came around during my childhood, no one would question my age. They wouldn't say, "Oh, well, you were too young to like it." It's only you're only too young to dislike something. Like Old Dirty was saying, actually, I'm playing. I brought up my PlayStation 1 games, and I'm playing Mortal Kombat Special Forces. I didn't like that game when I was a kid, but I was shooting the video for it, and I'm playing it, and I'm like, wow, like I like this game is good. This is a fun beat 'em up game. Like I didn't remember liking it. I thought it was stupid. You played as Jackson, you went around beating up people, and the controls were bad. But I'm playing it now, and I'm like, I actually enjoy playing this game. So the review is going to be different. I'm going to talk about when I was younger and how I didn't like it, but I'm liking it now. So.
What do you think about dudes that, like, you know what I see on YouTube a lot? I see guys that like a game, and then all of a sudden, when the game gets bad sales or something, they dislike it. Like,
Well,
I seen it, for example, I'll throw one out there, Forza 6. I saw somebody, I'm not going to mention his name because I'm not giving the dude any more credit. I'm not going to sit here and just show all this attention to his channel, but we all know who I'm talking about. I seen him say he loved Forza 6, and then all of a sudden, he basically didn't like it because of the sales. It didn't do good. It was shit. It was garbage. All of a sudden, it was a game.
That's funny.
I mean, that's just like some flip-flopping mess. I don't know what to say about that.
I mean, I mean, we all know who I'm talking about, I hope.
Well, well, you can tell me after the
I
podcast.
don't.
I don't. You can tell me.
I don't.
Oh, well, I'll put it out there. One stop for gamers. He liked Forza 6, but all of a sudden, he hates the game because of sales. Now it's a shit game, you know, because it didn't hit the top 10 charts.
Oh, well.
You know, so,
guy. He's silly.
I'm not scared. I just don't want to show anybody more. You know, I think what's going on with that dude, you know, everybody that don't like the dude, like myself, the more you talk about him, the more you're going to get him more popular. Same thing like Crap Gamer. I don't have nothing against Crap Gamer, but a lot of people hate the dude. But all they're doing is boosting his channel. So I'm not going to boost people's channels that, you know, basically I don't even care for a damn thing they say. I just know every word out of their damn mouth is shit. It's just a bunch of bullshit. But but it's not just him doing that. I've seen others do that. You know, that they love the game, and the minute it did bad, all of a sudden it's no good. It's chopped liver. You know, I don't get that. But basically, that is the end of the podcast. There was one more thing I wanted to talk about that I saw, but I'm not gonna. It's like if I bring this subject up, it's like I'm attacking somebody. But it was something interesting I did see. I might save it for another podcast, whatever. But yeah, thank you, King Grimpachi, as always, for joining.
No problem. Shameless plug. Check out my SmackDown video I just put up, and I'm reading the comments. All these games, people want to know what I feel about them. I will do a review on them, like I'm doing now. So.
Yeah, I still got it. I only saw one episode of your series. I didn't get to see. I'm gonna watch it this weekend. I saw the Jet Moto 2 one. But it's a pretty good series. Check King Grimpachi's channel out. I'll put a link to it in the description after the podcast for his, what's the name of your series?
Not Shit and Shit Reviews.
Yeah, check them out. Good series. Thank you, Super Mario 1999 Pokemon Nerd 2000 for joining. First time on the Dave's Had Enough show. Hope you come back.
You're welcome. It was fun talking with you guys.
Oh, and one thing I want to address while you're here. I did not say that I recall. See, I think people misheard me that podcast when I was talking about special ed rooms and we were talking about all that. See, I mentioned something called resource room, which is after like when I went to school up in New York. There's like a half-hour class, or you go for an hour, and they help you with your homework and your stuff that you're having problems with in your class. They don't put you in where the school I went to. You don't just get thrown in the special ed class because you're behind in class, or they help you with your work, and it's called resource room. It's not retard room.
Right. I understand. I probably misheard you.
Yeah, it's resource room. So that's basically what I was getting at. Yeah. I think that was a podcast with League of Winning when he was going on about the short bus and everything. No, it was resource room. That's what they do up in New York. That's basically what I'm going to get at. Because somebody sent me your video. I didn't get to see it until they sent it to me, and they said, oh, this guy's talking about you, saying you said something about retard room. I was like, I didn't say that. But you just misheard me. It's cool. I just wanted to say that.
That's good.
Older, and I hope you come back, Super Mario 99, Pokemon Nerd 2000. I appreciate you for being on the podcast. Hope you come back next week and future podcasts.
I'll try.
Okay. Old Dirty 33, as always. Thank you for joining.
No problem, Dave. I just got the dev kit for the Xbox One, and I will let you know how powerful the machine is.
Okay. Thank you. I'll be looking forward to that video. Thank you for joining. Hope you come back for more. And Aussie Gamer. And Aussie Gamer got his Xbox One. He is now with the best.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You guys can add me on the Xbox One if you want to or not.
Okay. Well, I'll leave your gamer tag in the description with King Rinpoche's channel for his new video series. Check out for all you guys. Shit games or shit or not shit.
Is it just Ozzy on the Xbox?
It's Ozzy Live 47 Adam.
Okay.
Yeah, just tell me it. Put it in. Ozzy actually put it in the chat box in the Google over here, like the Google group chat, and I'll just add it to the description of this video with King Rinpoche's videos or his channel, and the first episode of the Jet Moto, so people know what we're talking about. And start off with GoldenEye or whatever one. But thank you all for joining. Thank you all for watching. This is actually one of the better podcasts I had in a while. I had the most viewers in a while. I appreciate everybody watching. Thank you, as always. Until next time.